Hi everyone. So first of all, my name's Claire. Welcome to the channel if you're a hashtag newbie. Welcome to the Soul Fam. And hello my hashtag oldies. You know I love you. Thank you for your support. Um, right, so I'm just gonna get right into this, right? Because I honestly think this is like the fourth or the fifth video I've filmed. So if I'm looking fed up, that's why. I feel quite tired in general anyway, right? Like I actually got out for a walk today, and that's huge for me because like I used to walk every single day, and I just basically got it for several different reasons. I got out the habit of doing it, and so anyway, I've loved doing that, but I'm quite tired from that, and I'm also just quite tired. That full moon really, I feel, took it out of quite a lot of us. And like I said, my guides had given me guidance that Pisces moon, I was just I had to rest, and that's the guidance I've been getting for lots of people. Because I always say that about Pisces moon anyway, because it is about burnout. But so, let me know below how you found it. Um, but anyway, the reason why I keep stopping these videos is because in one of them, I was going into like loads of detail about the whole my whole Twinflame journey. And I feel it is just because it's so rife in the collective right now that, with a lot, like I feel it's people needing a lot of clarity, because there's a lot of confusion and that, and I feel it's like you said, I've been told this by other people that have read for me in the past where it really resonated, like by several other people, that it's been like, with so much confusion out there and so many false twin flames and whatever you want to call them, like the fact that I am genuine, like I'm a real true twin flame that's been on, that's known my twin flame 21 years, and as I like to say, consciously known who he is to me for 14 years this year. And even with that, I think that's my Saturn and Scorpio being a bit too strict about that. I think it's arguable that I even knew even before that. But I just like to kind of say that it was 14 years because I do remember it was a very palpable moment where it was like, to me, it was like a flashy light came out his eyes. It honestly was that dramatic to me. So again, I don't know if he, that would be fascinating. Like if when he opens up to me, if to hear, if he actually like kind of knows the moment that I meant. But I remember it basically, and it was like, he just acted different in that moment, like more, I don't know, just really connected and all that, and he was being a wee bit lovey-dovey, and he's just not like, it's not like that. Um, well, it really just depends. Again, like I always say, we were nice to each other before it went not so not so nice. Before it went just went like we went fuck all to each other basically. But anyway, that's fine, but it was like it was quite interesting because I'm going into more of the, so again, I think if that keeps happening, I might just, what I'll do is I'll put those ones on the membership at the level it's at just now. But again, that was one of the main reasons of why I was guided to start the membership, because I can feel that part of my soul just more like, wanting to help people with more parts of it again. But I just go and watch the like hours and hours of live streams that I've done over the past 3 years. But not everyone's got that time. Anyway, when I scratch my nose, that's the loved ones of spirit coming in. But basically, I really just want to stop that happening. So if I can, let's just get on with this, right? So again, I'm just explaining to you why I might seem a bit fed up, because my plan anyway was to film 7 of these. Now, I don't think that's going to be likely, to be honest, but my plan was to film 7 of these so that I could just chill for the next couple of days anyway, or maybe even possibly the week that you're watching these videos. I don't think that's likely that I'm going to either want to or need to do that, but it's just so that I've got the option. Um, but basically, the divine detox and decluttering that I usually do this is the third year in a row. And I've also got available one-to-one, by the way. By the way, my nose is really itchy. I have to give that a good itchy. So there's definitely some loved ones of spirit and ancestors gathering. Um, I'm just going to do this wee house cleaning bit, and then I'm going to get into what day one is all about. Um, the basic gist of it is when I've done this with people one-to-one or through this, but obviously a lot of things, it's really just for, you're going to get a lot out of this. If you're going to get out of this what you put into it, right? But actually, I've just remembered the main thing that I was going to do today is I'm going to do a shamanic journey for us all, but I'm not going to know what that's going to be about until I do. I'm going to do the medicine wheel with the mystical shaman cards. So there's lots of things like when I do this collective reading, you could get, your own one. So say this collective reading doesn't actually resonate with where you're at, then you can book your own unlisted one. That one's always there, so you can choose the length of which you want it. You know, I would say it's going to be realistic that you would at least need 30 minutes. I can't do that reading in a 15-minute one. So, you know, just again, if you choose the 15-minute option, I would do something. I suppose I could if but I'd be going past it far too quickly each one. You'll see what I mean. But again, an hour would probably be realistic, and you could even bump it up to like the 90-minute one because people say that's like, you know, therapy because it's like, you know, because it's more of me talking and I'm, you know, be giving them my bits and bobs, the counselling and coaching and stuff. Um, and it's always a healing activation as well, whether you're watching here in public or definitely if it's a one-to-one. But again, people get as much from me. So like I said, like even from on the playlist, the shamanic journey, the shamanic journeys that are there, that, you know, there's only a few. But the ones that are there, actually, there's more than a few. It's just I haven't put them on the playlist. But because that's the thing, everything I do is soul retrieval, right? But it's just like anything, when you make a bit more of a bigger deal of it and draw attention to it, like people are like, oh, they think it's more of a thing. So it's just, what I mean is I'm going to be like, oh, this is a shamanic journey for whatever. But again, I'm always clearing and healing and bringing back the soul parts that you need if you're really sort of aware of how your energy changes with everything that I do. Because I'm here to clear like black magic, spell work, which is in modern terms is gossip, slander, lies, and there's always some of that happening to somewhere within our collective, unfortunately. But basically, you know, when you think about it, detox and declutter, I personally want to detox from that. Like it's been quite heavy. The karmic energies I've been picking up on every year are heavy, but it's been very heavy and it's quite draining. For me to channel and really for us all to listen to. I don't know about you, but you know, when I click on videos like that and it's going on to it, I actually click on, and it's nothing to do with the person channeling it, it's the energy, but I'm like, I just need to get away. So I'm a bit sick of that. So I don't think I'm going to be using the watch the tea cards during this. You might be glad to hear, or you might not be, because they are quite entertaining. But I've had enough of that, thanks. I think we've got enough of an insight into what's going on with different people's situations. Let's just not. I want to have a break from that. But because like I said anyway, in personal sessions, I'm not a twin flame teacher reader that is somebody that's like so like, you know, I encourage people not to be like so obsessive about where your twin flame's at. Like you have to get obsessed with where you're at and get obsessed with your own healing. And that is what will, when you get obsessed with healing yourself, that will help them to heal themselves and bring you closer into an inner union and eventually a physical union, which I also just like to stress as well, you know, I'm all about the mystical and the magical, right? But I'm also about being realistic. You can be in an inner union for quite some time, like quite a few years. So, you know, I don't care what you've heard anyone else say out there, or perhaps even if you feel you're in an inner union, it can take a wee bit of time for that to actually manifest. So, you know, it's all about patience on the twin flame, on the twin flame journey. But obviously it does mean, you know, it's like, you know, you can be in inner union, but you've still got to keep working. Basically, I feel you can get to a certain point of inner union, and then it really is about patience and balancing your energy. You know, you're still going to get triggered by things. You're still going to get sadness, anger, but you know what I mean? You're still going to experience these emotions, but you'll be less bothered and you'll be able to be like more detached. Like for instance, I'm in a place now where um that's why I was like getting so bored of that energy that's coming through. And I'm like, right, I know I have to do this because this is what I'm here to do, but you know, can I focus on more of the healing, or which I am going to do too, you know, on top of this, right? I'm going to do these videos, and then when I get time here and there, I'll do a shamanic journey when I'm guided to do it. Because these are things I'm going to be putting on the higher levels of the membership. There's going to be more stuff going on the levels. Which aren't going to come. I thought I was going to do it like from September, but I think realistically it's going to be October. But I don't know. I might still do it from the equinox. But it's just I'm going away for a wee bit of time. You know, not very long, but it's like that. I think that might clash with when I've got stuff on. So anyway, right. So, but I can always do it in advance. It's just yeah. I think I am back by then, but it's like I might be a bit tired of saying it. I'll just see, because with people in, you know what I mean? When I'm away with family and I'm people in and having to be really social like that, I'm going to come back. I think I'm going to need a holiday from my holiday kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm being serious. Like that's how much I am very quite introvert. Um, but yeah, so we're going to focus on the mental, emotional, spiritual and physical, but not in that order. So I don't know why I said it in that order. We're going to do the spiritual this week, and we'll just go with the flow. But the spiritual this week, and then I think we're going to go the emotional, and then the mental. Sometimes mix that up. Sometimes sort of shuffle it about, and then the physical's the last one. Physical's about manifestation. Sorry about hiccuping. That's sort of clean energy, but also it's because wait a minute, I'm not going to shuffle yet. It's because yeah, when I've helped people with this one-to-one, when I've done the divine detox like stuff like that, I basically shape it. Basically, I shape it to your needs, right? It's tailor-made. When I do a package, right? So I'm just thinking of somebody I worked with in the past. Whereas basically it was, a main focus of hers was weight release, and we call it weight release. I sometimes have to remind myself to call it that because you don't want to call it losing weight because then it would indicate that you're going to find it again, right? But and actually, if I'm being honest, I think that's something that Paul McKenna. I'm sure I got that from Paul McKenna, but maybe not. It was from somewhere anyway. But we want to release the weight. So if you're at a place of that, like, because again, you might be in a place where you're like, well, actually, I need to put on weight. If that's where you're at, then I could actually help you with that. I'm very good at helping people with intuitive eating and all stuff like that. I have got cards like that. So again, they've just guided my eyes to it. So I think I'm going to use them on the last week of this. But I'll just go with the flow, and I just sort of go with the way that my guides sort of guide me to do it. So it might be different from the other years that I've done it, but we'll just see. But yeah, I feel there might be quite a few people that are interested in the weight release aspect of it. And like I said, I'm can better help you with that one-to-one. Because I can help you work out what's really behind that. Um because like for instance, like I've made no secret about that myself, like I'm carrying extra weight than I'd like to be carrying and for a while now. And it's a lot to do with hormones, turning 40, people say shit like this. They're no lying, guys. It is the truth, well, in my experience. But I also know that it is linked to other things. Like again, I've said before, I know from what I've helped others with and from what I've researched over all these years, it is actually very common to gain a lot of weight. When you're coming into an inner union and before physical union and stuff. So like I said, that in the build up, it's just all the different balance and energies, right? So there's that. But you can't just blame it on that, you know what I mean? You've got to do something about this. But again, just practically it is hormones and all that for me. But I do know, I just know, basically I know, right? And been a part of like a bit of investigative work of what works for me, what doesn't. So again, if I don't really want to get that, I could talk about that for ages and ages. So like I said on a live, and it was quite interesting though when all of yous were chipping, we're quite in a similar. A lot of us are in a similar place with that. I'm just sort of saying in public so that people know if you've got issues around hormones, whether you're around the same age as me or because you don't need to be, you see, because it's about our nervous system as well. Like you could be like having serious issues with like sleep and whatever else and stress and stuff, and you need to balance your nervous system. So but other people it would be a mixture of that and hormones and trauma, you know what I mean? And but basically, yeah, when I helped the client I'm thinking of before, um, it was great because like I got, we really sort of dug deep. She spoke to me about like, different things that she felt was like linked to, you know, to the weight that she wanted to release. And then I'm just trying to think, we did a mixture of different soul retrievals of what connected with what we spoke about, like over the time that we worked together. And that wasn't actually, I'm just trying to know, I think it was a package of four, but that woman had actually worked with me before. And she loved it so much that then she wanted to do like another round of like, I don't, it might have even been eight at the time, 4 or 8, something like that. But again, the weight release did happen. It happened basically the point is it happened very quickly. And I'm keeping this anonymous, but that person actually has done group work with me before and experienced the same. So it was a combination of like I did a space clearing at one point, like distance space clearing, and it was specifically because that person had told me that like there was a room in her house where um she always used to go to that same place when she wasn't feeling too good, and I was like, all right, that so just so that you know yourself, that isn't good energy. Do you know what I mean? It just makes sense, doesn't it? If you're going to associate, even just the association of associating this room with being the room where you cry or you get angry or whatever. It's kind of like, if you break up with somebody, and I've said this before when I've had friends in the past or clients, it's not good energy. You know, if you live in a house where you were living with somebody for like a long time or even married to them, and then you're the one that says, hey, but think about practically how many people are in that situation. So, you know, if you are in that situation, I get it, but get yourself some white sage or get yourself somebody like me to go around and clear the energy or do it yourself with the white sage, you know what I mean? But it's because I did have to do that for a lot of people in my life and they felt the difference. Um, but I can do it distantly too, is the point, right? But it does matter. Just like there's a lot of power and energy in a name, you know, like when you get divorced from somebody, you can feel this kind of free and release, or when you change your name for other sort of reasons, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's it all matters. So, oh yeah, so I'm saying totally different stuff from the last thing. So basically, the point is we're gonna do some detoxing and decluttering on all levels, but you're gonna get that in a better way if it was one-to-one, obviously. Goes with everything that I do. But like I said, it's kind of like as well, like, you know, I was guided to do this in public for everyone because I've done that all the other years. But, you know, this year being a bit different with having that first level of the membership just now, I might actually choose to go and expand on some of the things that come up in the membership. So a bit like, you know what I mean? Well, it is like that. You know, come and get the extended, you know, but it's just like, I'll probably want to call it something different to be different. But, you know, we'll just see how that goes. Like, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to do that, by the way, but I feel like I might be guided to, you know, because again, if I've already keeping up with the New Earth weekly thing, that's enough for me just now. Because really, that'll be the other levels. But that's what I think I might do. So, um, right, before we get anything else, I'm going to just briefly, because again, I talk about clearing energy, and you know, sage is like, you know, number one. Again, I've taught so many people about the power of sage, and I'm glad to, you know, because it is a powerful tool and it's to be respected. And you know, someone's starting a blank slate because that just fell on the floor and it's one of the blank slate ones. But yeah, because so a lot of you might gloss over this because you already know, whether you knew before I taught you or whether I'm one of the people that taught you how to do it. Um, Other people don't know and they, you know, they'll want a wee bit of background. So basically, my number one go-to for clearing heavy energy is always sage, right? So if I've got sage, I'm going to use the sage first. Now, you don't need to just use like, you know, a smudging stick. You could use like an essential oil that's sage. That's quite pricey. Like, so we say how normal essential oils can be like, you know, the average ones like lavender and that can be about four, sometimes £5 though. You know, sage can sometimes set you back, like I don't know, sometimes like about £8, maybe even £10 and stuff. So, you know, it is always usually a wee bit more expensive, but I mean it lasts ages because then you would, you know, you would dilute it to make a spray bottle, you know, and you could spray it. But to be honest, I'm not being funny, but I've actually got that. I don't know where I've got it. It's not nice. Like I'd rather just, you know, like so each their own. But that's quite good if like um that's quite good if say if you work in an office or something, or you kind of, you know, you can't be burning the smoke or the smoke alarm's going to go off, or, you know, but you want the people, like say if you worked in a care home or something, that'd be quite good. Like anywhere, you know, where you want to clear the space a bit, but you didn't really want people to know, so they might notice there's a bit of weird smell, but they definitely notice if it was smoke. Um, but you could also do that with like music, you know, like a rattle or bells, or you know, bells aren't really something that you know, that's not really a go-to for me, do you know what I mean? But that might be something that you resonate with. You know, drums people can do, but that's more moving into like shamanic tools in general, like you know what I mean? But it's you can, yeah, you can clear energy, basically you can clear energy with sound. You can do it with just by visualizing the white light, but the whole point is it's intention. So I would want you to get to the point where you're confident enough to know that your intention alone can protect you and clear the energy. But a lot of people just aren't there yet, and that's okay, right? So that's why it's quite good to use things. But because basically, like, look, I've got all these sorts of things about. Like, look, I've got crystals again, the clues in the name, crystal clear visions. I've got crystals like everywhere in my house, every room, every surface, and I always have got like there's crystals all along this little ledge here. And you know, you can clear energy, you know what I mean? Like sometimes on the shorts, I'll do stuff like that. So clearing energy like that. But basically, a lot of the time, to be honest, when I'm on my own, like I just use my energy. I just use my frequency because I am that confident with my intention, the power of belief and prayer, and you know what I mean. But it's nice to use things too. So you know, you do you. There's loads of other things too, right? So I might choose to go into this deeper, but I don't think so because really that's it with what I'm saying, right? And probably because I've tried to film this about like 6 times, you know what I'm saying? And I'm actually getting quite tired now. But for the purposes, what I'm going to do, right, which could get a bit draining, but I'm going to do the little activation that I do sometimes in public and in private sessions. I start off every session like that. Sometimes I've been known to, we might have a wee chin wag, and sometimes people come on the call and they're crying already, you know what I mean? Sometimes people need to get that out, and then I do the clearing at the very end or in the middle or something. But basically, we're going to do the clearing now. So this is where I'm going to invite you. Close your eyes if you want to. Get comfy. And I'll not do this for very, very long, maybe 5 minutes. I don't want it to be any longer than that because I'm getting very sleepy now as well. Close your eyes and breathe in, telling yourself relax. Breathe out, telling yourself release. I want you to breathe in, telling yourself relax, and breathe out, telling yourself release, and just let it all go, reminding yourself that this is your time for you to hear what this is all about and wind down or whatever you're doing. And I want you to imagine that cloud of mist forming over the top of your head, smoothing over any worries, stress, busyness of your own thought forms, other people's projections, the world's energy, which can get a bit crazy, and especially after we've had a super moon, full moon in Aquarius, followed by the very sensitive Pisces moon soaking it up it all as well. So it can be quite a lot. And again, if you choose to watch this at another time, I'm sure the energy will still be like that, basically, whenever you listen to this, but that's the astrology right now. And the energy moves down over the soul star chakra, reminding you who you are, your unique soul signature. I'm just going to run by these really quickly. And then the crown chakra, your connection to the divine, whatever you call yours, and then down over your third eye, opening your third eye to whatever you need to see at this time, knowing that you're never given any more than what you can handle. And I know it might sometimes seem like, wow, I didn't want to see that. Like, you know, I can't handle this. It's destabilizing me, is what I'm hearing. But it's never any more than what you can handle, you know. Things like this too shall pass. That's always been one of my favourites. Believe me, you need to have sayings like that in your back pocket with my astrology. I'm not patient and good at helping people through a crisis for no reason, put it that way. And especially when it comes to the twin flame journey. That's why I earned the title Twin Flame Master Teacher, because I can help you in a lot of ways, and I've went through a lot of it myself. Right, so now the energy moves down with the throat chakra, allowing you to hear what you need to hear today to help you, right? And for all month. If you're going to watch these videos every month, again, just know that I'm going to try and keep them around 15-20 minutes. Some days it's just not going to be possible. Today, this first video is not possible because I'm, explaining what it's about, blah, blah, blah. And so now the energy moves down over the higher heart chakra, recalling Saint Germain the Violet Flame to cleanse, clear and delete any previous requests that no longer serve your highest good, to make way for what will serve your highest good and the highest good of all involved across all timeline, space and dimension, version of self, calling on the same for your true twin flame as well. And notice I always like to say your true twin flame at this point, because so many people on the twin flame journey are not with their true twin flame. You know, they're with a karmic partner or a false twin flame or whatever other labels are out there, which I'm not even going to repeat them, because some of them I genuinely do just think people have made up their own names for things now. And I just, if you hear me repeating it, it's because I'm taking the piss, to be honest. Higher level soulmate and all the rest of them. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, that's just my humor, but I'm just saying. So if you like that, fine, you do you. That doesn't resonate with me. So, now the energy moves down over the heart, calling in unconditional love for wherever you're at in this now moment. Knowing that you're learning what you need to learn for your soul's growth, you and your twin flame. So pull in that unconditional love and acceptance for where you are. It's not an easy journey. And I feel that's why those of us that truly are on this journey for real, and especially, I'm going to say, especially the divine feminines, some of the divine feminines that have been on the journey a very, very long time. that I've had to watch the comings and goings of people talking about twin flames and, you know, making it seem like they know everything about it. And then you've got people that are often sitting back quietly being like, that has not been my experience and that doesn't resonate and something doesn't feel right here. And you know, at one point before I was out here doing this like this, owning it, I was one of those people that was quietly watching and observing others being like, there's something not adding up here. And again, I've saw that with so many people. So, you know, trust yourself, you know, use your discernment. It's why I'm proud that, you know, I share a lot of my life. I'm not going to lie, I don't share every single bit of what happens in my life, and even every single bit of what happens specifically to do with the twin flames. Because let's forget, everything that happens in my life is part of the twin flame journey because I am a twin flame. And twin flames are arguably more in my life than anyone else's because of what I'm doing all the time to help people. But it's, you know, we have to protect ourselves at certain times, but you know, when I feel like I'm over an experience enough to talk about it, I do talk about it, you know what I mean, like I said. And when I have a conversation with my twin flame in divine time, that'll be the next stage. You know, I'll ask him, like, you know, can I share this, or you know, whatever, blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff. So but for now, this is where I'm at. So I accept where I'm at in a place of inner union and complete surrender, and basically, really, very quite detached, actually, but not detached in the way of the toxic way that you'll hear a lot of other people say that, like, you know, oh, I'm a twin flame, but I don't want to be my twin flame because he's doing this, that, and the next thing. It's like, I'm a twin flame. I love my twin flame unconditionally, but I've surrendered to where I'm at, and I've surrendered to the timing of whenever anything happens to me and him, as in the initial conversation after a while of not talking. It's because you just get to that point of exhaustion. And also, like I've been very transparent about, I need a break. So that's why you're going to see me in the same dress for the next 7 days, because I'm going to film them all today. Even if I'm up till like 2 in the morning filming these, I'm filming them all today. But that's what I would find quite interesting, because although I'm filming them all the same day, you'll see how the energy does tie in for when it's published. So anyway, because it's not me, it's God and the guide speaking through me. So, and that all came out, you see, at the heart. So that's a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, and they reminded me. So last night, late last night, it was, I don't know, it was maybe about like 11, half 11, midnight, something like that UK time. Doesn't matter the time, but felt like I had really strong heartburn. Now, heartburn's not something that I get, but it was, you know, it was with me for a wee while, and I was like, God, am I going to need to go and get milk or something? And milk's still something. I have milk if it's like, you know, in something. I don't like drinking milk like that anyway. You know what I mean? Each their own. Like my dad, my sister, and my niece do that, but I just like, I don't want to do that, especially not in the summer. But I didn't have to do that. But what I did go and do was I've just remembered, I did go and make a green tea, which I'm not a fan of either, but I've been trying to drink a wee bit more of it. Um, and it did help, but it was only when um I was actually listening to like another video. And again, I always just keep it anonymous, but I was listening to another video. And I hadn't even, and I think I even fell asleep before listening to all of this video, but it was more, I like to look at the comments, and it was in one of the comments, someone was like, oh, I had a really intense heart pain like last night. And I was like, oh my God, why did I not? Like, usually when I get like heartache like that, or heartbeat, I would know right away. But that's what triggered it for me. I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's what it was. So I'm just sharing that with you because actually sometimes this can be quite investigative if you share, but it felt like really bad heartburn last night. Like I said, I had to go and get a wee cup of tea. But I now do truly believe it. And like I said, because I'm just saying this right now, although you should have your eyes closed, but you can open it if you want and then you close them again. I'm just going to shuffle these Archangel Raphael, Archangel Raphael healing cards. I'm just going to ask, you know, was that, was I feeling the divine masculine's heart opening, like the divine masculine collective? But like I said, you know, half the time, like I'm not going to say every time, but a lot of the time, you know, when I'm going to be getting something like that, it more than likely is because my own divine masculine is going through something like that, but not every time. So that's where I just leave it open. So what could you tell me about that? Because I'm actually, yeah, I'm feeling it again now that I'm talking. You see, it feels like heartburn. So they're telling me. Yes, oh my God, I can't. So again, you can watch that on replay if you kept your eyes closed. But look, yes, the card actually says yes. So I'm wondering why am I picking up these? But you see, they're just showing you that's my trust. Like I've got that much trust in my clairs, again, of divinely named, that I know that I pick up the right cards. Dear Archangel Raphael, please help me to trust my feelings as the accurate barometer of truth. So, that's what I mean. Like, I would have been that intrigued by that heartburn anyway, that I bet you actually when I did eventually go to sleep, my guides would have told me as I slept, but it just so happened that before I went to sleep, I had saw a comment that triggered me to think, wait a minute, heart pain, that's what I'm like, you know what I mean? And because, yeah, but usually I do just, I ask and I know. So if you're kind of wondering, like, is that it? And so they're saying, yes, that was. So again, this is the interesting thing is that some of you are, well, again, the vast majority of my audience are the divine masculine, regardless of gender. Which again, if you're new around here, that is what is very unique about this channel is, and I truly do believe it is because, and I'm not just saying it is because, like, my divine feminine energy is so strong at this point. Like, even now, like, I don't really like this dress, to be honest, but it's very Empress mode. I'm not going to stand up and sort of do a twirl for you, but it's, again, it's another long maxi dress down the ground, and it does look very like Empress like, you know what I mean? And it's so I feel because I'm just oozing that divine feminine energy, I attract, I've always attracted women in masculine energy, but I attract, men and women in masculine energy to really balance that, to really push you into your feelings. And sometimes it can be uncomfortable, you know what I mean? I mean, it's so uncomfortable that it's, my twin flame's still running, but it's like, and it's, and it's why, like, I'm just going to be honest, really, I've said it before, but it's why it's like, is better staying away until he can hear, me saying I love you, because I can't not say it, you know what I mean? Like, I do love him, so I don't want to, like, hold that back. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Once we've spoken cleared the air, if we weren't at that stage where we're just trying to be friends or something, I'm not going to be sitting there saying I love you and all that, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not, it's quite a natural thing. Like, I'm a very cuddly, touchy-feely person, um, when I like somebody like that. But I mean, that I've lost that part of myself because I'm not in that position to ever do. You know what I'm saying? But it's but I've not really because he's just, you know what I mean? His energy is just like I said, and what I've said more recently, it's funny, I always say it's always here, and this actually is the masculine side of the body. So you might, be wanting to tune in yourself. But anyway, the point is yeah, the vast majority of the audience, regardless of gender, oh, I can't even talk, Mercury, I'm sticking with this video though, are the masculine energy. So, come and join in a live to, to kind of see what I mean real time, um, or book a personal session. Like I said, I can always help you that out in a personal session, but all I know is even when I've got some women that are adamant they're experiencing the feminine journey, it's like a bit of time passes and it's obvious that they're not, they are the masculine because it's all the same themes. Like, yeah, all the same themes. They're, divine feminine and divine masculine, you have mirrored experiences, but they're not exactly with some people I've worked with, it is, but other people it's not exactly the same. There can be slight differences, but again, it's I can help you work that out in a session. Um, but yeah, that's amazing that the card's saying yes. And then change physicians. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for leading me to the best healer for the situation. Amen. Now that's quite funny because that card's always my sign that they're like, somebody's been going to the doctor to get help with things and they need to see, well, specifically me, right? But I would just say, like, a healer, right? Like, it's an energy thing rather than, like, a doctor thing. Because doctors, a lot of the time, just like, look, I know there'll be a lot of amazing doctors out there too, but they're few and far between. But a lot of the time, they do just gaslight you and stuff and fob you off, like, even, like, again, with what I've went through with this hormone stuff and that as well, like, a lot of the things that actually help me are all quite natural things, and it's and none of that was said to me by the doctor. Just sort of is like, get more exercise, do this, and it's like they don't tell you anything about, your nervous system and hormones and all that. And so yeah, anyway, um and also, I know I've got a lot to do with, like, I'm not joking when I say, what I mean, like, people that are out here on the front line, and that's what Aries energy is about, me being the highest energy of any Aries. That can be like, people doing witchcraft on you and shit like that too. But you can't, I wouldn't just want to, say that overall, because then I think that would make you a bit complacent and not genuine about it. But again, it's another reason to protect your energy. But right, that was all at the heart. So now the energy moves down over the solar plexus, where we call our power back, wherever you've given your power away, call your power back from all time, space, dimensions, versions of self. That was just a good thing to put out there. And then the energy moves over the sacral chakra, again calling back healthy, healed and whole, your sacral chakra energy, anywhere where anyone has been siphoning your creativity, your sexual energy, or doing that through your twin flame, because that can happen. Call back your energy again, call it back cleared, healthy again. That's something you would really need to get, I would say, one-to-one support with, but it's always, it's not going to hurt you to say it. And then grounding energy at the root chakra, calling in grounding, safety, security, financial abundance, stability where you're feeling a bit unstable, because I can feel that going on with some people. And now the roots of the tree go down, 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 all the way down to the bottom of Mother Earth, however you imagine that to be. And cut the cords of fear, lack, negativity, the old earth, letting it all go. Keeping the lessons, letting go of the pain, and now we connect our new strong cords to the new earth of peace, calm, abundance, balance of the masculine and feminine, and then pull up whatever you feel you need. And while you're just in this moment of quiet, I want you to set an intention. And if you can't think of it right now as you're listening to this, right, maybe just pause it or think about it after. But I'm going to ask you to think about something you want to focus on this month. So pick an intention of something you want to focus on. Now, I've already got a focus that I want to focus on. So it's going to be in the area of, detoxing an area of your life or decluttering. It can be anything to do with your mind, body, soul. So some of you might be like, I need to tidy out the garage. Like, I just always avoid the clutter in the garage. Or some of you might be like, I've got a kitchen table that's always got a pile of crap on it. I want to focus on that. It always just, accumulates. Or some of you might want to focus on like releasing weight. You might set a goal there. Again, I'm going to stress that it's probably going to be better to do that me one-to-one to really see the big changes that I've had with some clients over the years. But I've had people say to me that they've watched the journeys that just are on the channel here and noticed the weight loss results that they've had. And you're not imagining it, because again, I'm here to help people shift the dead weight, the stuff that you no longer need. So it is going to manifest as the physical weight at some point. So, but again, if you really have struggles around that, it's probably going to be better to do it one-to-one, because when I'm thinking of someone in particular, it was the wow results came after I tailor-made a hypnosis track, which was only like 30 minutes. So, and I don't even think she listened to it every night, but she lost a lot of weight. So, yeah. So again, but it's, you've got to tailor make it, because it's, you've got to do it in a healthy way and stuff. But yeah, so just for whoever needs to hear that. And, or some of you, it might be you've got too much stress in your life in general. You're supporting too many people, and you want to, by the end of this month, you want to be feeling a bit healthier about that. Because some of you might need to hear this. That, I learned this on my counselling training years ago, like over 10 years ago. Like it was the counselling course before the uni course. That if you're supporting over a certain amount of people emotionally, all at one time, like it said something like, if you're helping more than this amount of people, and I was like, say, like 2 times the amount of people it was saying, that you'd be more likely to have a heart attack within 2 years. And that was an eye opener for me and one of my best pals that was on it as well, because we're both very similar and we were both supporting a lot of people in our lives, and it just really stressed the importance of boundaries. Which again, if you're new to the channel, that is my niche, is teaching people badass boundaries. So yeah, it is important that you have boundaries. So like I said, so maybe some of you need to set a goal around setting more boundaries with family or friends, because that's really come up in the collective reads recently. So anyway, you decide, but I'm gonna stay quiet for a moment and just have a wee think. And if you can't quite think today, it's fine. Just let it ruminate and, sleep on it. But pick something within the next couple of days, so that you can have that focus there. Don't procrastinate on that. You know what I mean? That might even be a goal, to stop procrastinating, ironically. So I'm going to stay quiet for just a moment, and then you'll hear my voice again in a minute. So, like I said, keep your eyes closed, but not for long, because I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And when I get to 2, you're going to think about your eyes. And when I get to 1, you're going to open your eyes wide awake, wide awake. And I'm just going to see where I'm guided to, because I wanted to do the medicine wheel shamanic cards, but there's a few other ones. So I still can't get over that the card that came out was the yes card when I was asking, is that the case? Because I already knew. So they're just showing you that it was like, I already knew that they were telling me that that was about the masculine's experiencing a real huge shift at the heart chakra. Because for some people, it's going to be like for the very first time, like someone could have repressed their feelings for like 10, 20 years, 50 years, whatever, 2 years, whatever it is about, man, woman. And it's experiencing like, feelings of love and, romantic love and connecting all the dots for the first time, it feels like. And for some people, it might be in a different kind of way. Like you were just feeling like a really moving moment of love at your heart or something. It'll be different for different people. But anyway, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Think about it, open your eyes. 1, open your eyes, wide awake, wide awake. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a wee mixture of, I just want to make sure I use it right. So right, I've picked up these. So I think I'm going to stick with this past life energy deck over the next 7 days, which remember is quite funny because I'm going to film them all today, so that can get a bit confusing for me when I'm doing that. But anyway, just yeah. So, um, like I said, I really do. I just go by my guides. I wing it, like and that's the way I've always done it. And I nearly actually used my mug today that says winging it, but that's the way I've always done it, and it's probably going to be the way that I always do it. Sometimes I get a bit frustrated that that's the way it is, but it's because I used to think, is that self-sabotage? It's not. It's just the way that I work. Um, but all I know is I'm a lot more organised than I used to be, and I can make it work for me. But it's the way the energy flows. Go with the flow. Like I've said, it's like they're sort of talking to me there about it was like when that random woman, when I was on a group Zoom of someone else's with the thing that my auntie got me. Like the woman was she was chucked in the virtual room with me for like 5 minutes, and she literally was like, oh no, it was actually, yeah, there was one where she got, that was weird actually. We only done it twice, and I got put with that woman. And then the second time you got put with 4 people, and I got put. She was one of the 4 people, so it was like we were clearly meant to. So again, she must again. You know how this goes. She must have been a twin flame. I'm convinced she must have been a twin flame, but because she felt really drawn to me. Like she just basically, I could tell she was quite shy, but she was like, you really strike me as like really fully embodied. And I didn't really quite know what she meant, but it was when I got her to explain it, it was just like, it's just exactly what I'm doing. Like I just really do embrace that feminine energy, and I go with the flow and I trust. And it's, it can look really weird to people because people just aren't used to true divine feminine energy. But hello, this is it. So again, if you see other people that, because again, I can think, what I mean, it's again keeping it anonymous in general, but if you think about it, like, yeah, that's why it's like, I'm not somebody that's like got neat thumbnails all the time and really structured, and I'm going to be honest, like I admire when people can do things like that and have it, but that's very masculine, like being very organized and structured and keeping it very timely, it's stuff to be admired. Because again, when I connect with basically everyone in sessions, you know, we can balance, you bring that balance to the table with that, but it's kind of like, so that's what I would say. It's like, I admire people being in the masculine energy, but everyone that gets drawn to me, it's like you're more than likely going to be too in your masculine energy. And the people that aren't are usually people that have followed me for years, and it's balanced out your energy. And because a lot of people that have followed, not everyone, but you'll have done one-to-one work with me, and so you've got more of that balance of your feminine and masculine. But like I said, majority of people that get drawn to me, you are predominantly still the masculine, even though you're a woman, a lot of people. And I know there's men watching too. And the same with the men though. The men that are the divine masculine, a lot of the men are starting to come to me now, and I'm helping you balance and open up your feelings and know that it's okay to have feelings, and it's, and it's blah blah blah, all that shit. So I'm just me, right? I'm just me, but the thing is, and me just accepting me and loving myself unconditionally, that is powerful alone. Because so many people could say it, but you can say it, but can you walk the talk? You know what I mean? You can say it, but you've got to walk the talk. And I'm being serious. I'm not perfect, but I do love myself unconditionally with everything I've went through in my life. And still going through, I go through my own stuff. And believe it or not, and oh, but like the song that came through on the live, I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't really want to sing him here. Anyway, we're not getting into all the dark side of the music industry. I mean, I do like his songs, but anyway, that's the fucking shit thing about Awakening. And you're like, what? Them too? What, her, him, your favourite 80s movie? Oh, yeah. Anyway, so could you give us an energy for now, I don't know if I'm just going to go again. I'm going to go with the flow of this, but I don't know if they're going to do it like, where's the divine feminine, where's the divine masculine at? Because it feels like, a lot of the people, not everyone, because that would just be unrealistic. We're all at different parts of the journey, so it's going to be more helpful to you if you're like honest about where you're at. But I don't know if we're going to. Although I think because they're saying to me because of that, yeah, we'll do one card each, but. There was a temptation in me not to separate it basically because I feel there are some twin flames and some of the um, waves of twins that are drawn that you're actually like you're scarily mirroring where each other are at, so it'll be the same card. But and that might happen on some of the days. We'll just see. But let's just means I'm going to be sitting here a while. But let's pull one card for the feminine, and then we'll pull one for the masculine. But remember what I always say. Although this is the feminine's card, this can also be the masculine's feminine side that you're needing to balance out. And when I pull the masculine's card, that is the feminine's masculine side. So really it can make sense both. And if this doesn't make sense yet, it's because it's collective. So but we can get something from the messages. So what is the card for the feminines? Resourcefulness, intelligence, mental action, right thinking. Wow. I'll tell you why that is amazing if you can't work it out for yourself, but I'm sure you can. Intelligence, mental action, right thinking. Now, notice when I was saying I always go like that, I always feel my twin around me. Specifically, I just feel his energy really here, right, the right side, the masculine side of the body. And mental action is the mental side of the body. So that's talking about, because this is about the past life energy, it's like in the past, I feel they're just backing up about what I said, like as a feminine, as a predominant feminine energy, which, like I said, like, going by my one-to-one clients and who speaks in public, which again isn't a lot of people, but it's enough people, I actually can't get a accurate judge on whether any feminine energies watch me. To be real, like seriously. So if there are if you truly are experiencing like scarily similar stuff to me and you know that you are in that journey and you would like to come to me for support, because let's face it, like that's the thing, like um divine feminines need support too, but it could be very difficult to find another. So I'm just sort of letting the sisters know that if you do want more support, because that's very likely going to be other divine feminines that do the exact same job as me. Like you help other twin flames, or you help other, like again, because not all divine feminines actually do that. Like that is a very unique calling to be a twin flame that is called to help other twin flames. And I know it might not look like it with all the people doing twin flame readings, but I don't really put them in that field, because like you said, like a lot of the people that are reading about twin flames aren't even really they aren't a twin flame. You can tell because the energy starts not really resonating, or they are a twin flame, but they're not. Oh, they're not doing the deep healing that's required to get into the inner union. Basically anybody that goes like really negative about their divine masculine is a big red flag. Um, um. Anyway, again, I could talk about that for ages, but what I'm basically trying to say is I feel, um this is just going to be in line with what I said, that it's like, in the past, you found it difficult to balance, um, that you were just more comfortable with your intuition and your feelings and um, going with the flow and all that kind of, you know what I mean? And people might even call you a bit scatty and all these are all the kind of things that I've heard. And so it's about like I feel this past life energy that's coming up now is it's about I feel is actually saying that it's like if you're the divine feminine energy, you're actively working on being more organized and you know your version of it. Because like you said, this is my version of it, right? That it's like I I do think I am going to be guided to make a thumbnail, right? But it might just be the same one every day. But just so that it grabs people's attention that it's a bit different from the same old, same old. But again, I'm not going to hold myself to it. But it's basically what I'm saying is I'm always going to go with the flow. So although I'm saying, oh, I'll try and keep it about 15, 20 minutes, it's usually mission impossible with that shit, right? It is as long as it is. And the people that are meant to watch it, will watch it kind of thing. You don't need to watch them all. I would advise you to if you want to get the most out of this. Because basically I'm going to takes a lot of energy for me to do this. Like I done in January, I'm going to hold the intention for all of us. So I'm going to hold the intention for my own stuff. I'm going to hold the and like I said, I usually tell people what it is, but I'm not guided to actually say what I'm going to focus on. And I just want to say, well, I wouldn't choose something um, like I wouldn't choose something like I'm going to do this to get me into union, right? Because that's too big. It's too like because it's like the fucking Let's Go challenge that I do, which I will run again at some point, maybe before the year's out, right? But although I do, to be honest, I do think I'm going to run that on the membership so that it's more private, but we'll just see. I might do something in public too. But it's basically yeah, like that's going to look different for different people. You know what I mean? Like only I know because I know myself inside out very well, and other people that know me well, especially other people that come to my house, have seen the change in just how organized and you know I seem to keep the place tidy quite easily and you know, clutter free. I'm not going to say it's like, you know, it's not like a show home, guys. Like my house is never going to be like that, but it's, you know, it's relatively okay. And that used to be a real struggle for me. So I'm really proud of it. Like that is like, you know, years and years of hard work, energy work on all level, energy working on all levels, where it's now, you know, the last part of it, the physical manifestation. It's like, oh, actually, so it kind of, you know, it kind of throws a lot of shit out the water about ADHD and dyslexia and all these other different things all these other different difficulties that some of you might have. And I don't even really like calling it a difficulty, right? But what else do you might say? Challenges, because it's less challenging for me to, you know, tidy up and organize and that because of finding different ways to help myself and help my clients. So, yeah, if that resonates, then get some one-to-one support. But anyway, let's read this. So that's what I get from it, right? I feel this is about the divine feminines that it's in the past, like you and still now you're guided to focus on balancing your masculine energy out, right? So it's like because like I said, although I've got that healthy balance of masculine and feminine, it is always going to be um you know, that's where I'm always going to be striving to kind of get more of a, you know, a balance on because I just find being in the feminine like really easier than most, but even with that, you know, I've got to watch. If I'm in full on like go, 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 then slow down. But you see, like I can confidently say that I'm good at that because I don't burn out as much as what I used to do. But the thing is, even me burning out isn't really a sign of, oh, I'm not balancing my energy well enough because I'm a collective channel and I carry so much for the collective that it's inevitably going to happen. But I'm quite proud of myself that, you know, so many people seem to have found this like really, really emotional. And you know, I haven't. I'm quite surprised by that. It's more just tapping in um, to how the masculine feels, which is quite intense as well. But like I said, and particularly today, I can't really, you know, how do I know anything? But it's like the synchronicities that I've had. It does that pain I had last night makes even more sense. Like it is like I feel the masculines a lot of you, regardless of gender, like you're going through so much pain, you can't ignore it. Because like it was like, you know, it was like the heartburn was like, oh fucking hell, what do I do? Milk, tea, I'm gonna have to go and do something about it. That's what it feels symbolic of. Like I couldn't ignore it. And then it did shift. But so I feel it's like, you know, that's like symbolic of your feelings screaming at you to do something about this. Anyway, so let's see what this card says. Oh, that's not the book. 31. So 31st of August could be significant. This card marks a time of increased mental acuity for you. You have had great ideas in the past lives, intelligent and the intellect to make your ideas a reality is still within you. You may have even achieved some fame or prestige through your accomplishments. In fact, your subtle memories of those achievements may be leaving you feeling a bit frustrated in this life, as if you should be doing something more or garnering greater recognition. I'm sorry, that's laughing because, like I've said, that really is making me laugh because that's kind of like how if you've listened to my soul self that's always coming through when I'm talking, basically, that old soul twin flame master teacher part of me, old lady, is getting quite annoyed because it's like, yeah, like just when you're seeing all this like confusion and made up names for things and some people, it can be really quite appear very confident. It's scary how confident some people can appear with some things, and it's like really I can feel behind it. It's not the whole truth. You know what I mean? Because it's part of my Blu-ray frequency. So you'll know if you are that kind of Blu-ray old soul frequency as well. Which, like I said, is I don't really like to put an age. So you just know, right? Again, people that are Blu-rays, you won't really have tended to have fallen for all the shit that's happened over the past few years in the world, kind of thing. Um, but like you would have been wide awake to it. That Blu-ray frequency is kind of like you're wide awake to things from birth, really, I would say. But it's not everything, because we do go through levels of awakening. But you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel the frequency of truth. So somebody could be sitting there saying all this stuff, looking the part with I always like to say with the glittery font and the fancy website and the fancy thumbnails but I'll be able to feel the truth behind it. So I never fall for stuff like that. And that's probably why I don't really bother with all that shit. Again, you know, it's not that it's not that I'm not gonna sometimes have it, but again, let's face it, I don't, do I? And it's just because it's like, um, it's not important to me, but it's important to YouTube, isn't it? It's important to, these are all the things you're meant to do, but it's like, um, but I'm probably pretty chill about it too, is because I'm here to speak to twin flames. That's who I'm here to help. That's the only people that ever spend their money with me. It's not about money for me. Again, I mean, I think I've made that blindingly obvious with the fact that I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's you don't get into this job for the money, put it that way. But the thing is, that's key actually. That I know why they make me say that. Some of the things I'm noticing synchronicities with collectively is that, like, I can spot out there in the world, like, say, um like the way that God speaks to me, like for instance, it was happening last night too. Like, so I wrote it in the comments, but I'm going to say it because it's probably more powerful saying it. That last night I was watching New Girl Standard, and it's so new that I mean, I'm so old I can't remember watching it the first time round, or I didn't see it. But like I said, I now think actually I stopped watching it after those couple of series, right? So I don't know that. I think so. I think so because I can't remember watching it past time. But the point is so say I was watching like series 3, episode 4, or it might have been series 4, episode 4, or something like that. But I wasn't paying attention, Mercury retrograde, but it was meant to happen. And I actually skipped to the whole series ahead, but that episode. So I was like so confused because in this episode, I'm not going to say exactly who's getting married, but it wasn't, and it's not Nick and Jess in that episode. I mean, they might get married, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I hope so. But it's kind of like, yeah, it was other people, and I'm like, but it was funny because throughout the whole episode, the person was trying on dresses and that, but they weren't saying, and I was like, oh no, who's she married? And then it was like, I was like, oh right. So it was kind of like, oh, I got chills. I knew what they were saying to me because the video that I just published, like as I was watching that, was that it ends on celebration, which that card actually mentions marriage and union and stuff. Which again, if you're new around here, I wasn't kidding when I say, my birthday's 18th of April, which is the Four of Wands, which is the union frequency. I'm here to usher in, bring in the unions. And which is going to have a lot to do why I'm good at helping people get into inner union, because inner union eventually leads to physical union. Do you know what I mean? So it does all make sense to me. So it's, really, again, that you can see why the old soul's a bit of annoyed, because it's like so many people are watching countless twin flames over and over and over again, fucking up their energy by watching people that aren't even real twin flames, when you could actually probably just invest a bit of time in the free videos here, and definitely watching the shamanic journeys with the soul retrieval, which is more, what I would say, everything I do is soul retrieval, but it's more specific because there's an intention behind that when I've done it. And also there's not that many, so it feels a bit more special, that it's like when I get guided to do it, it's for a reason. When I get guided doing it, it's for a reason. But one-to-one is where I can really help you with that on a deeper level. And anybody that's ever worked with me one-to-one has sang my praises, which I'm very grateful of. And even some people that are off my radar and that, and you just again, I'm very hermit mode anyway, like I said, day to day, I've got like a tiny handful of best pals, and I've got my family, and well, it would be nice to have my own family, even if that is just like me and my family, but that's not what that's not what I'm at in my life right now. So it's kind of like, basically what I'm saying is, it's like, I've never been like a Christmas card type of person. Like that's actually making me a bit upset. Oh God, I spoke too soon when I said, oh, I was afterwards on the Pisces moon. What I'm basically trying to say is it's like, my life changes like crazy, and I'm supporting a huge amount of people, like, a collective going through a very weird experience that not everybody understands, but us, if you're twin flame, but again, people work on me too. Um, and so it's quite overwhelming. So by the time I've done that and, like, spent time with my niece and my days in my life, I'm really quite exhausted a lot of time, if I'm honest. And I've just accepted now in my life that it's like, when people start to leave my life and pull away, it must be for a reason. Like, we've just either fallen out of frequency with each other, or a lot of times, sadly, I'm being protected from something, that maybe I don't know, or so, I don't know. It's not always that, but like, you just fall out of resonance with people. But it's just, my mind does always go there, because I have just had so many, as I'm being pulled the Jesus card, I've just had so many people go a bit weird. But that's one of the shitty things about being the divine feminine, and that's why I think they keep getting me to say that. Um, if you're seeing other people describing it similar to me, then maybe they are the divine feminine, but I just don't see a lot of that out there, or a lot of the honesty about it. This card reveals the capabilities you have to make those higher dreams a reality, but you can't just wish for them. Oh, interesting. You have to trust yourself and follow your desires through the maze and thought and action that may be required. This necessitates focus and flexibility, but you have the mind and the heart to succeed. A limited perception of yourself could be preventing you from getting started. You may see yourselves as ill-equipped to handle the great task you'd like to achieve. This is especially likely if the self-doubt card shows up. Well, that didn't come up. So remember this, your intellect must not only apply to the external tasks you face, but also to your conclusions about yourself. To support your intellectual pursuits, you must make sure you're thinking clearly about yourself and your inner strengths. Right thinking is a process of weeding out false limitations, which is exactly what I'm here to help you do one-to-one and on here. In fact, your greatest achievement could be believing in all your own resourcefulness once and for all. If you have some big ideas, trust your capabilities and your intellect, empty your mind and meditate on your own heart center. Oh my God. Empty your mind. Well, that's definitely what we're going to get into in week 3, unless I change my mind to do it next week. But really the whole time. That's why, because I was even going to do it, like, I'll just do my, like, each week we're just doing a bit of all of it. That really is what it is. But it's kind of hard. It's like, I like to do it like, I like to separate it into each week, but really I'm doing a bit of all of it every day. So I might change it and we'll just go with the flow. Um, Feel the expansiveness of universal mind filling you up, bringing you ideas and personal strength. Know that the resourcefulness of all eternity is vibrating within you, waiting to shine in all that you do. Now, you see, with the nature of what I've been talking about, like, because I'm like, oh, hell, deep and meaning, it's always a deep and meaningful with me. But basically, to me, that is what I was just saying, is that it's like, the divine feminine's like, you're so, because I'm just going to talk to you like you are there, whether you are there or not, right? Because I do feel there's going to be, because it's there within it's there within you. Even if you know that you're a woman and you are predominantly in the masculine energy, you've got feminine energy in you. So pull it out of you basically. But I can pull it out of you better in a personal session. And we've even had people in the live stream recently saying that. So thank you for doing that. Thank you when any of you do that, whether you do it in the standing alone comment or on the live, because it'd be quite good to have some standing comments where people are actually saying this too, because people might not read the live chat, but I appreciate wherever it comes. It's the same with, I've said this before, but I'm going to keep saying it. I would really love it if you've never wrote me a review, but you've had a great session with me, or even if you've wrote me reviews before, but you've maybe had a session recently, you haven't wrote, like anything like that's really, really helpful. It doesn't need to be really long, or it doesn't matter if it is like you do you, right? But about a paragraph or something, or and then you see, I just copy and paste it from your email, and that would be brilliant. Or again, write something yourself. And again, you don't need to give loads of detail. Just people generally want to know, how did you feel before? How did you feel during? And maybe the process of the 3 weeks in between. When we started and what you noticed, and then how you're feeling now. People just want to know the shift that you've experienced. But yeah, I feel this is about like divine feminine, like trust yourself if you're guided to do something. Like for instance, although I do this every year, right? This is the third year, but I think it's more than that because I did do things like this on Facebook. I have an idea what I'm going to do, but I do actually feel it's going to be a little bit different because there's more people. Before there was only like 200, and now we've got like 1,200. Do you know what I mean? That's quite that's quite different. So I open my mind to the wisdom and inspiration of the universe. I believe in myself and in my ability to excel and achieve all that I desire. So I really do feel, because it's on page 97, I really do feel that's about the divine feminines in particular. Like, you've got big ideas and you might have struggled to organize them and take the action to make it happen as well as what you'd want. Like you might get it done, but you want it to be, you know, you want it to improve and I don't know, right? Whatever it means to you. But that and for masculines, it's like I feel that one's very simple. It's about, for your feminine energy, it's about you're thinking and fantasizing a lot about union. And some of you are ready to take the steps towards union. And I'm just laughing because one of the videos I had to stop was because my phone rang and it was just another like spam caller. And I was like, right, that's it. I'm changing my number. Because I was thinking, honestly, I was like, I'm daydreaming, fantasizing about changing my number and I'm just getting the strongest feelings it's time to do it. But I'm kind of like, yeah, the only reason why I'm not doing it is I'm like, well, it feels like it's maybe putting up a barrier and then it's going to make it hard for for my divine master to contact me. But then I'm like, you know what? It really isn't, right? Look, the contact details are there. If push comes to shove, you're gonna have to book a session, mate. Seriously, do you know what I mean? Fair's fair. Do you know what I'm saying though? It's quite funny. But no, really, you don't even need to do it because the email's there. But anyway, where there's a will, there's a way. But um Anyway, but yeah, but I think they're getting me to say it for a reason because I did say on the live that it's like I'm not fucking shitting you. I need to get rid of that number. It feels like a karmic number to me now because I've had it since I was like, um, yeah. Think about it. It's a karmic number because a load of karmic people in my life have still got that number. Now it's not as if they're all hitting me up on that, but basically I have had some of that obviously at some point over the years because I've had that number since I was 17 and I just want a fresh clean slate. Um and yeah, and so I'm not and so some of you might need to do that too. I really don't know. But and basically I've been saying it and I've not been doing it. And again, can I just stress as well, it's like, I did in that other video I was filming, it was like, and I wouldn't like do that text like, oh hey, it's Claire, here's my new number. Like, why the fuck have I got it? Like, basically, I wouldn't send that to my divine masculine because it's like we don't talk anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I've actually not had his number stored in my phone for like a long time, basically, because it's like I didn't want to, on the very few times that I do go and get drunk, I didn't want to like get upset and like do something I regret kind of thing. And So yeah, basically, I have to say it here because I'm like, don't get tricked, Twinflame. That like, because I'm not gonna text them. It's weird because I'm like, I don't want to say you because that's fucking weird if I address the thing like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna text them my number. So don't fall for somebody being like, oh hey, it's me. It's not. So see how that fixes that problem. Because I did think about that. Think about it. Even if I was to text or Twinflame being like, hey, it's Claire, it's my new number, he might not believe it's me anyway. So, because to be honest, I might not believe it's him. So that's the kind of weird situation that we're in right now. So, good luck finding a creative way to get in touch with me, other than the telepathy. Um, I'm not making it hard. Like I really, because I've had 3 calls like that today, and I think it's just stressing me. It's driving me nuts. I'm like, nah. Right, so don't that's a good sign. Don't put your look, they're pulling that. Yes, don't put your life on hold because of what might happen. I've done that for a very long time. I'm just stressing. I do want to be in physical union with my twin flame, but it takes 2 to tango, and he needs to want that too, and it's his turn to move towards me to take action. So anyway, if he wants to. Right, so um let's get the talk of the masculines. Let's get the card for the masculine. Archangel Haniel, joy, gratitude, and intuition. Oh my God, look at that. So isn't that interesting that I just said he's got it because it's to move the masculine more into their intuition. Because the feminine's got a card that's very masculine and the masculine's got a card that's very feminine because it's got the word intuition on it. So let's see what this says. 15. So listen up, because like I said, based on the majority of people that are drawn to me, you're in the masculine energy. So, but you've got the feminine energy too. So, the angel of joy brings messages of happy times both in the past and in the time to come. This is especially imminent if this card is near the wealth or idyllic memories. Oh, well, we've not got that, but we'll take the imminent joy, thanks. This expanding joy may seem like a distant dream if things have been if things have been a bit difficult for you lately. This is a theme with celebration yesterday. But Haniel wants to remind you that all joy starts from within. Choosing to notice all the little blessings in your life will expand them in unlimited measure. Your past life joys can actually be rekindled in this simple choice. And see how that fits for people that do want to rekindle past life joy with a twin flame. Like, or anyone, you know what I mean? But and also Mercury retrograde is about the past. So that's why Mercury retrograde isn't great for starting like new anything. But when it comes to twin flames, you've had many past lives together, and I tend to attract people that are like me, my twin flame, that you have got a past together too. So um present moments of appreciation will trigger your happy subtle memories, activating your grateful life force energy and causing the universe to respond with increasing blissful experiences. And that is very Aries moon right now, actually. Very different from the Pisces moon, which can be like more sad and emotional, and it's magical, mystical, but more sort of somber energy. Like Aries is like fun, optimistic, fiery, taking action, masculine energy actually. But it can be anger and stuff as well, so you've got to balance out. So if you're having trouble capturing the happy moments in your life, call on Haniel to lift your spirits and bring her eternal point of view. This intention of present appreciation will create an open and receptive state, allowing the solutions you seek to come more easily to you. Haniel is also the angel of intuition. Yeah, so you see the feminine's got the masculine card about mental stuff, mental whatever it said, and the masculine's got the angel of intuition. So you see how it's like you've both got the opposite energy because whichever one you lean more towards is the way I like to describe it. You have got both, but it is, I feel, in the times of confusion we live in, it is important for the people like me to be crystal clear, which is probably a lot of the reason why my name's that, but about what we mean by that, because it does matter in my experience. It does matter whether you're holding more. It was like even like I might share that because again I wasn't sure about sharing it because I don't know if I totally agreed with it, but I mostly do. And it was like a meme where it was like the divine feminine is 60% feminine, 40% masculine, and the divine masculine is 60% masculine, 40% feminine. And, I suppose that does kind of make sense to me, because, you've got that little bit more than it's, so it's not quite 50-50. Somebody's carrying a wee bit more, or the way that a lot of people describe it as well is, and so I have to focus for a minute to explain it, but if you are the divine feminine predominantly, right, on the outside, and I'm not talking about, male, female, I'm talking about like you're more following your intuition, you're more in your feelings, you're less analytical, it's not your go-to, it doesn't mean you like I can overthink and shit like that and analyze and stuff, but it's like, you're more comfortable with intuition and the feelings and all that kind of stuff, and you're comfortable about receiving stuff back. Like even just today, somebody, gave me a compliment and I was like, thank you. And you're more comfortable receiving love and giving love. Um, and but you've got an inner masculine. That's important to know that if you've got the feminine like that and that stronger way, you've got an inner masculine. And it's also your inner masculine. But that inner masculine is then connected to the person that is more masculine, right? And they've got an inner feminine. So it's just easier for me to explain it this way, that you've got a woman that is the divine feminine and predominantly the feminine energy, but she really gets her masculine because it's your inside, more internal, private part is very, it's their energy. So you get them, right? Like that more inward sort of part of you. And the masculine, who's like, so that could be like a guy out there that's like, appearing very masculine, very, intelligent, very analytical, very logical. Like, this makes sense to me. This is the steps I'm going to take. And that can even sometimes include like, it just isn't practical or sensible for me to go towards the person at my twin flame, because how's that ever going to work? That's sometimes the way that the masculine sees things until they spiritually wake up and they live more in the intuition and following the heart and the going with the flow and living a little, which is really quite funny because a lot of masculine energies, well, when they're in the distorted energy anyway, can be like quite party animal, kind of like, make it look like, oh, go with the flow, and it's kind of like, well, it's not really though, is it? Because it's quite controlling and kind of logical and, well, anyway. So, and I'm saying that for everyone, by the way, that's in the masculine energy. So I'll be getting fucking throwing the shit at the screen. But anyway, it's true. And it means that the masculine, so like say you've got a man that is that masculine, but they've got an inner feminine. So they have got feelings. It might not look like it sometimes, but it's like they've got deep feelings and they're going to really get the divine feminine, but also you're going to be massively triggered by the person that is so easily able to love themselves and to give that love and to want that, to give that love to you, if you've not been used to really receiving it like that from other feminines, because regardless of gender, masculine energies do get guided to karmic feminine energies, to go through those lessons. And then again, equally, like, so that's described, that could equally be a woman that is in predominant masculine energy. If that's you, you're going to attract men that a lot of the time will have qualities of like being quite feminine, but in the distorted way, like, people that will look to you as the masculine woman that's got your shit together, is the way that I'm going to say it, because there's a lot of positive things to it too. But you might find that you're carrying the load more, like carrying the household responsibilities. You might even make more money, which again, it's kind of cool in this world to be like, it really doesn't matter who's the main breadwinner and all that. But, when we take it back to kind of natural masculine and feminine energy, it is all about like, the Empress providing that like love and, creativity and like sharing that and, and giving all that energy and healing to the masculine, and then the masculine protects and provides, and me went out and got this while I was hunting, here is what I have, and that's why like the magic the magical masculine, the masculine template, oh my god, Okay, but the masculine template, well, whether you are a male or a female, if you're more, that's when you know you're more in that masculine energy, because it's like your main driver is things like money and success and getting ahead, and you may even lose yourself and get caught up in competitive energies too, or like more, make more money, be more successful, do the next thing, and you're not really kind of, or just forever in planning mode too. It just depends. Like I'm kind of chopping in and out of the divine masculine energies and distorted masculine energies. But basically, it is complex because that's why it can be quite difficult to describe it sometimes. But all I know is from helping people for all this time and just in general life, day to day, most women you do meet are in the masculine energy. They just are. It's what society is like shoved down our throats, you know what I mean? And it's including my own mum. Like, so I've had to work very hard to become the divine feminine, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like I said, I have been in that like I have been in that energy when I was younger of um yeah, when I've reflected on that in the past, like I could feel like just even if it was for like, just a short period of time, I can think of wee moments that I've had with him where I've been more closed off and logical and analytical, and he was more in his feelings, you know what I mean? And perhaps I wasn't even recognising it, to be honest, like, because I feel that's a little bit like what the again, I could be wrong about that. Like, he might disagree, and to be honest with you, the placements we've got, he probably would disagree, but that's why it's like, when me and mine talk, it has to be because he initiates it to come forward. And I know that he'll, oh my God, that's hilarious. The card I just picked up says, get over yourself and pull your shit together. Hey, if the shoe fits, that wasn't for math Twinflame, that's for whoever it resonates for. But it's like basically that's what I was just about to say. Like I know that he'll initiate that conversation with me when it's the right time. You know what I mean? Um, but anyway, could you stop making me talk about Twinflame? Connecting with her can help you recall past lives where you're actively engaged and using your intuitive powers. And again, this is a masculine, so it's helping you connect with your past lives where you used your intuitive powers. Those same psychic strengths exist within you today and can bring personal inspiration and resolution. In fact, this card could also indicate the calling of an intuitive career this time around. Yeah, so there you go. That is definitely about masculine energies, regardless of gender, where you're being guided to transition from a job that you have now. You don't need to, but it's just that you'll know if you have this stirring inside you because you're being pulled more towards the twin flame mission and the twin flame journey. So it's not just about the love, it's about actually you know that you've got more inside you to share with the world. And the other side of that card is help people give back, do good shit for humanity. Because again, to me, it is very much, it is the Mary Magdalene and Jesus templates, where it's like you're meant to be doing good shit for humanity together. Like your love can move mountains kind of things. And again, you'll just know if you feel strongly, like you don't need to feel as strongly connected to those archetypes as what I do. You might feel strongly connected to other ones because, like you hear me say all the time, I'm connected to a few, but that is like a very strong one for me. And it's because of what I do, because of the energy I'm here to hold for such a bigger amount of people. Make attitude, a gratitude, a happiness, a priority in your everyday life. Take note of all that you have to be grateful for. This habit of conscious appreciation will fill your life with the realization that happiness is not merely a distant hope. Yeah, that's what's important. Masculines need to get to the point where you know that you're good enough, you've done enough on your healing journey, and stop saying, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Like at one point, tomorrow needs to be today. So it's a present reality that will increase both your magnetic attraction and your intuition. I create happy connections with Haniel and with other loving, helpful spirit friends. My joy and my intuition are expanding every day. But again, I just like to know it's important to remember that a lot of you are in a dark night of soul, unless you're not. And like I've said for 10 years of doing this nearly, sometimes people think they don't even know they're in a dark night of soul. Because again, in a dark night of soul, you're moody, grumpy, want to tell everyone to fuck off. I'm just generalising, but it is kind of like that. You feel like Groundhog Day, you feel like numb, and you feel like you want to retreat, you don't want to talk to the same people you want to talk to that you used to want to talk to. You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes that it's not until you're out of it that you actually realise you were in it. So quite deep, but true. So, and I'm very, again, very experienced in helping people with that because mine was so fucking rough and I was trained up by God for a long time. So, there ain't no course that you can go on to learn about the Dark Night. So, in fact, there probably is, but I trust the one that I went on. Right, so first card that flew out is mindfulness. Peaceful presence, quiet mind. Yeah. So again, I feel this is definitely because the feminine energies, a lot of the feminine energies that I'm speaking to, you're already feeling really quite a happy inner place. So you're just inner union. So you're just focused on trying to keep that peace and be the calm amidst the chaos. But again, if you're feminine energy that you know that there is still a wee bit more to do, like you've got to work on your own sort of healing more than most or whatever, then just do that where you know you need to do it. So whatever that card means to you. Same with the masculine's feminine side. Again, that's just about slowing down. Mercury, as Mercury retrograde comes to a close this week, because like I said, I don't know if I'm going to film all these in the one video now, because this is like 90 minutes, but yeah, Mercury retrograde is officially coming to an end in less than a week, or it might be about a week. I think it's the 28th, but we're in it, the shadow of it for another 2 weeks. So it's about slowing down and, not starting new things and everything. Within you is a peaceful place, a quiet space where nothing is troubling or worrisome. It is where your personal self connects with the truth and awareness of your soul. There's nothing to solve, nothing to predict, nothing to think about. In fact, to attain this peaceful presence, thoughts are not required. The practice of mindfulness calls for you to let go of thinking, let go of striving, and choose to be peacefully present without judgment or analysis. Your soul is truly powerful, cosmic energy, perhaps the greatest power you possess. When you release your personal striving and worry, you automatically move into the vibrant, receptive state of trust and peace. This card is telling you that now is the time, the only time to choose peace. Let go of judgment, worry, and the need to control. Then take a breath and choose to live in your trust and heart. That pervasive peace will bring profound happiness and radiate an absolutely irresistible vibration. But you see how the cards are backing up what I was saying? And it kind of reminds me, I'm laughing because it reminds me when I say, you got to be careful when you know when you are in that, like, you know when you're the divine feminine, put it that way. You know when you're the divine feminine or in the divine feminine energy, because you could be attracting a lot of attention from anyone and everyone, like from different genders, and just, but it's just hard to describe, like, again, but you got to be careful with that too, because people can want to leech onto you or like be an energy vampire. But yeah, whatever team you bat for, it's quite likely you'll be attracting people that are trying to own you and stuff as well. um so yeah, that's why it's wise to have strong boundaries. But again, that's why, true divine feminine empress energy, like, it's what if I talk about, it doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting because, like you said, I'm never I never go out anymore, so it always happens in really interesting places. But it's yeah, I know who I am and I've got strong boundaries, so I just deal with it accordingly. But that's how you'll know. So I'm just sharing that for you, because some of you will be younger than me and you're still going out all the time and that, and so you maybe need to be more aware of that. Like, don't leave yourself. Oh, I can see the word gossip on this card. Don't leave yourself vulnerable, because if you are still like drinking and all that, which a lot of people do, like, you just don't, you've not worked this hard on your own energy to like give the goods away to just anyone, basically, is what I'm saying. It can be flattering, but you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give the goods away to just anyone. If you're a twin flame and you're divine feminine, I shouldn't even need to say that. But in the times of twin flames and with some people giving advice to just get with a higher level soulmate or calling people this, that, and the next thing, I do need to say it. So, only for twin flames. If you're not a twin flame, don't wait around on some guy that's fucked off with someone else. You're not on the twin flame journey. And, don't also be delusional to think you're on a twin flame journey because that's happened to you, because that's a very different thing. And that's why it gives twin flames a bad name. Twin flames is a very ancient, real experience, an alchemical process, you would just know if you're on it. So just like that's why I'm always kind of like, I'm a bit I'm not. It's not like I'm not going to believe you, but I'm a bit wary when people don't even know who their twin flame is. But not always, because there are some of you that I've connected with personally one-to-one that it's definitely actually one of the men I'm thinking of. Like, it's so obvious that you are that guy's divine masculine, but they're still out there, but whatever. But yeah, that person I had that session with, like, they weren't too sure. But again, it's because his guides want him to focus on, if you're watching this, his guides want him to focus on right now about his own healing, and that will all become crystal clear because that's what happens in this journey. So sometimes it does happen to people like that. But the most important thing is I am excited for him that he's not overly focused on trying to work out who that is. He's more focused on his own healing, and that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Right. So she arrests the flow of negativity, particularly that of her own making. She transforms her karma from that which hinders our joy to that which can create true happiness. As you seek refuge in her, you are protected from gossip, slander, and any form of negativity from others. A positive turning of the tide of good fortune is predicted. Guys, I just got chills. Surely I don't need to point out the fact that not on every video, but on nearly every other one, when I mention that a clear black magic, wait a minute, when I mention that a clear black magic spell work, I also usually always say it in modern terms as gossip, slander, like that card. And it's because these are the Kali cards, and I work very strongly with Kali energy, which can also get a bad rep sometimes because it is scary. Kali doesn't fuck about. Kali brings the tower moments. Do you know what I mean? Things are going to change in your life, but look at what people say. Things do change big time. When people watch my videos and they work one-to-one to me, or they do a combination, but things change big time. But it's because it was going to anyway, and you're guided to me on the twin flame journey. So that's why if people are mistaking somebody else for being their true twin flame and actually it was a karmic partner, guess what? At some point you might have been guided to me because that was going to come to your awareness. And some people have had that realization. Like, I remember towards the start of the year, there was a couple of people that were watching this, and then when I spoke to them one-to-one, that they actually worked out that, like, I'm keeping it honest, but I'm being told about this. It was like one person was actually, they hadn't recognized that was their twin flame. In fact, there was a lot of animosity between the two of them. And she said she recognized, she recognized that that's actually who that was through listening to me, and it is my frequency that helps somebody work it out. Now again, I didn't do loads of one-to-one work with that person, but when I did do it at that time, she'd said that, and then there was somebody else I'm thinking of, it was the same thing. They actually were confused about who their twin flame was, and then it was after watching on the live that I think it was one of the pre-recorded readings that I done. It helped the person work it out, and then they did speak to me one-to-one. It was the periods of time when I was doing those free sessions for a while. I think one of them wasn't. I mean, it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? Because I'd give above and beyond the same quality of what I'd give to someone. But I think one of them was paid, and then the other, it was a mixture or whatever. But it was just both those people with experiences where there was either confusion about, thinking that the real twin flame wasn't the twin flame, and that there was some kind of karmic energy, because it can get pretty dark with some twin flame. Like, that was a platonic connection. I would say a Scorpio kind of platonic one, and. Yeah, and the other person, yeah, you know what I mean? It was, you see when you're meant to see. But yeah, that whole kind of, you're protected from gossip, slander, and any other form of negativity, which is quite ironic, isn't it? Because, like I always say, I'm not kidding when I say that's definitely been happening about me, because I can feel it. But don't sweat the small stuff. People gossiping about you, if that's all they've got going on in their lives, you got to feel sorry for people like that and pray for them. So. Especially if anybody's lurking on me an hour and a half deep, you know what I'm saying? That isn't looking for the support. Right, so again, that was the feminine card, but that can also go for the masculine, taking some time to go within, and also, just knowing that you are protected. So even if that is going on there about you, it's because specifically though for divine feminine, because think about it, like that is what I help people with because I'll clear the energy and I'll pray for you and that because again I do know what it's like, but it is also about that was the feminine's card there. But it can make sense, but it's interesting that the one about you're protected from gossip and slander comes out on the feminine side. Right. So I feel a strong, strong feeling. I mean, I know this comes out all the time anyway, the cards, but I feel the strongest feeling ever that people that have been doing that to the feminine energies where it's to put people in a bad light or to dent their character, which again you've got to be really careful about. That I keep hearing that term defamation of character. If people have done things like that have actually had a knock-on effect to people's lives, then it's you just don't really want to go there with that stuff. um that's going to make sense to some people. So um like it's just reminding me that where the fuck is that deck? Remember I got it and I don't know where I put it. The card that had the Angel of Bullying Prevention. But then also there was a card that came out, the Archetypes deck, that bully. You know what I mean? It is like if things are getting said about somebody that isn't even true, or like that's like twisting the way things have happened and stuff like that, it's lying and it's gossiping and it is slander. And I don't think people sometimes realise how serious that is. So, and that's why it's fucking draining to deal with this, but I do that with those cards because it's happening to loads of people on this journey, all because you love somebody. Mental, isn't it? And again, if you're in the case I am, you're doing something different and you're being seen. It is a bit. I get that it isn't like my job. It isn't your everyday job, but get over it. Loads of people have got weird jobs. Do you know what I mean? Like, go and fucking do something with your life. See, so there must be people talking about me, but again, shocker. No. Right. So the masculine, yeah, makes sense, and it did come out reversed actually. Balance, centered energy, self care, but it came out in bat. So again, before we even read this is definitely going to be about masculine energies, and I've actually already seen evidence of that today with synchronicities. Um, I think some masculine. Oh, my throat chakra keeps going back in. No wonder I've been talking for 2 hours. Some masculine energies could have dropped the ball around this full moon. It could have all got too much, a bit of a Ten of Wands moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have experienced a bit of a destabilization or feeling like it's a bit of a like a breakdown of sorts. There's breakdown to break through, but you've got that kind of feeling. So again, get support from me or anyone else that you trust if that feels the case. This could even be as little or as big as like somebody being like no, like putting the boundaries up because you're exhausted and overwhelmed. But it could also be like a bit more of a not firm, like just this could be somebody breaking down, like not being able to hide how you feel anymore. Like give us the Kali card and I'll read it. Kali Kalmasa Nasini. It is time to free yourself from what has been. Learn from it, but not allow it to define you and direct the course of your life. Give up your stories about the past. You've outgrown them. Kali consumes mistakes, sins, and negativities. And again, remember, I always say divine mistakes. I really do carry that Kali frequency very strongly, though. Let her free you now so you can be open to the gift of your life unfolding. Again, Kali or Goddess Isis, because again, it's like I speak more about Goddess Isis, and I haven't actually spoke about the Kali frequency for a while. But Kali is because Kali comes in when it's needed, and it's usually when if scroll back over some of the, especially if I've got her on the thumbnail or in the title, it's going to be like one where now I wouldn't be shouting because, like I've said before, I've got some people that are channelers over the years where it's like if people are fucking waving their hands about and shouting, there's no need in that. That's just fucking extra. Um, but you know, it usually does come through quite strong. Like, it seems like I'm really fucked off when I'm giving the message, because even it was coming through a little bit there. But it's because I can feel energy. And the energy attack that you feel when people are talking about you is very real. I've explained before, don't really like reflect on that too much, but there was it because it was long ago enough now. It was a few years ago, but there was a time in my life when I actually had a massive panic attack, and thank God, you know, I had true friends in my life that were there to support. Like, you know, my friend had to calm me down over the phone, and then I saw her in person and she done it, and it was like, but it was a time in life where I just knew there was something. It was a social thing that was happening, and I knew there would be quite a few people. You know, it's not as if people are going to sit about and talk about me the whole time, but I knew it would. When people get bored and they need to gossip about something, and something, they're gonna, right. And I felt it, and it was so real, and it was such a good example of how real energy is. Um, and so it's just, you know what I mean? You'll just know if you feel energy like I do, you'll know what I mean. It is very real. So, you know, and what I'll sort of say is like you got to be careful when you do that, because karma is a real thing. Like, you know, it's like, and that's why I always sort of say that is like you know, I wish anybody that I've had things with in the past, like whether it's personal or professional life, I wish people well and I want people to be happy. But you know, everybody that's in my past is in my past for a reason. Now, it doesn't mean it wouldn't be people that, like, you know, if it's online or something, if somebody's drops you an email and be like, hey, you know, I haven't spoke to you for a couple of years and this is what's happening in my journey and blah blah blah. And you know, I mean, whatever. I love shit like that. Like, yeah, you know, if it is genuine and you're not like trying to, I don't know, get like some, I don't know, like siphon my energy or something, because it does happen, then, you know, do that. Like, don't be scared to do it. But I can tell the difference. So just know that. Like, don't fucking try it. If you're trying to, like, I don't know, manipulate me or something, and because again, that's, I think people need to realize that too. Like, you know, because I'm a counselor, like that's what I don't miss at all about when I was on Facebook, because it's like, you know, I would get people like dumping stuff in my inbox quite a lot, and like, you know, because it was more instant on the instant messenger, and then you've got voice notes and everything. And although it was fun and I used it, you know, I had eventually then created boundaries around it. But even then with that, even the people that I was closer with, it just got too exhausting because it's just a lot of energy for me. So that's why I've got even now very strict boundaries around emails. Because, you know, there is such a thing as email counselling as well. And remember, I am a counsellor. I'm a healer overall, but I'm a counsellor too. So it's like, you know, you are going to feel better when we're talking back and forwards, but it's like I can't give all my energy out like that. So it's important. It's different if somebody is in long-term therapy with me, then I can give that kind of one-to-one support, but I can't be reading like big long um like basically the point is I can't be a dumping ground for when somebody has like a, you know, like I'm talking like really really dark moments. So again, I haven't had that for a while, but it has happened before in the past, and that's because it's like, you know, it's not, and things that, you know, it's interesting, things have happened before where people have done that, and I actually then don't find the email for months later, and that's God and my guys protecting me, like, no, you're not doing that, Declare, that's not fair. So again, so you know, I think you might need to hear that too, the people that watch me, if you've got your own sort of healing business or that, like, you know, just make sure that you're not it's nice to be there for people, but do it with boundaries around it, you know what I mean? Like yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's you know, I feel like you can use your intuition about that, right? It's kind of like, yeah, use your intuition about it, because I think that's, people have just got to remember that we've all got our own stuff as well. So um let her free you now so you can be open to the gift of your life unfolding. And so this is about the true divine feminines, especially the true divine feminines that are out here helping all the masculines. Again, it's not just me. There are some out there, but I don't often come across people. They're the real ones anyway. Yeah, let her free you now so you can be open the gift of your life unfolding. And that's why I always share the stories about, you know, people, if they're on the brink of divorce, guess what? They're probably going to get guided my way if I was on the radar anyway to help them through that, you know. Doesn't always need to be that, but that's the thing that sprang at mind. Right, let's read this. Or you got a whole load of shitty pals around you that gossip behind your back, guess what? You're going to come to me and it's probably going to come out in the cards. Better you know. And then get better pals, basically. That's got to be somebody's thing for me to say that, especially because it was not long past 144. The balance card reversed indicates that at least one element of your life is significantly out of balance. Yeah, this is the masculine's card, remember. So that's what's out of balance here. It's time to free yourself from what has been and learn from it, but not allow it to define you or direct the course of your life. So somebody's staying in the past. Give up the stories about the past. You've outgrown them. Callie consumes mistakes, sins, and negativities. Let her be. Let her free you now so you can open up the gift of your life unfolding. Just to reiterate. Indicates at least one element of your life is significantly out of balance. Perhaps you spend all your time caring for another or overly focused on your work or hobbies. Yes, so we've got the classic that always comes in, workaholics, or which again, I know it's a good trait too because you could be very ambitious, but you got to watch the balance with it, men and women, because you'll burn out. But I think I'm talking to somebody that's burnt out. I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least some masculines, which again, that's like I said, it's everybody that talks. So um, yeah, because you've been caring for other people and now you've burnt out. I hope not, and I pray for you if that's the case. If so, it's time to consider more honouring options. And again, that's when the masculines are like realising this wouldn't happen with my feminine because it's my own feminine energy, and it's like you build each other up. You know what I mean? You don't tear each other down. I know it might seem like it, depending on what's happened with your unique twin flame journey, because it can get like that. But it's because you trigger each other's shit, and at one point you'll get to the point where it doesn't. Of course, there are times when things must temporarily be out of balance, such as when a loved one is sick, and that is true. You know, naturally, if somebody is unwell in your life, you're going to want to be for them, be there for them. I've done it myself. In fact, I'm not even going to go there. I will, but you know what I mean. Some of you will know the ways in which I've supported people with things like that, and some of you won't have a clue. But yeah, I've definitely been that person for many people when someone's not well around me, and it's part of my calling. But it's not should the time come, when the time will inevitably come, when there's people not well around me or something like that, I know how to better take care of myself, you know, and that's some of these times in my life, really very tough times taught me that very tough lessons about self-care. Some, you know, and it's not even how you heal from the trauma of, well, traumatizing, you know, when supporting people when they're not well into, you know, into death basically. It's also like how you recover financially, because there's been a lot of times in my life when I've taken, and again, this isn't just once, like I've taken time off my work to help people that I care about through really rough times. And I've taken like I mean, I can actually think of a time in my life where I actually left a job that was really important to me to go and help. I would never take these things back. I would never regret it. It was what I was meant to do. It's part of my calling. Any of the times I'm talking about. But like I could have been sacked, you know what I mean? And that's it's not but it's just I'm an Aries man. When somebody needs me, I'm there. And it's like now it's a wee bit more balanced. So just, you know, take care of yourself. You're a bit similar like that. Again, I'm not like that now, but I was. And even like if I take it back to even a few years ago, like, you know, this will be some of you that tune in and you might be like, shit, I've done that before. But again, it's not about blame and shame here. It's about, it was lessons for me. Like sometimes people could still, you know, hit me up and be panicking and, you know, freaking out, and they need to be on the call right there and then. If I can be on the Zoom with you shortly after you say to me, I will. But first and foremost, I assess where my energy's at, and was I available, you know, energetically, like if money wasn't even a thing, do I have the energy to do that? And sometimes it can be really difficult because sometimes, like, you know, the money might be needed, but I do, like, honestly, cross my heart and hope to die, I don't just take the session because of the money. Like I'll give the person an option. I'll be like, this is the soonest I can talk to you. Is that going to be okay? If not, if the person's already like paid, I'll be like, look, I can send you the money back, or you know, and usually the person's like, you know, because the guides are on it and they'll work it out. But what I'm saying is, like, sometimes it's like I would have been like so kind of like there with the lifeboat and like jumping on the Zoom right away, and you can't do that. Like that's why people have like emergency sessions and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that's my thing. Like, I did have I did have an emergency. Um, unlisted video there for a while, but nobody even books the unlisted, so I'm not putting an emergency one for fuck's sake. I'll put it back there because it was like, you get it quicker kind of thing. But I would endeavour to do it quick anyway. But yeah, it's more with the Zooms, you know what I mean? But I just don't do that because, like, I'm aware that that's a lot of money for people anyway, so I'm not gonna but maybe at some point I'll need to kind of thing. But anyway, so you must reverse these patterns, even if it feels difficult. Start setting some boundaries and carving out time for yourself, right? That's blowing my fucking mind. Because if you look in the comments of the video yesterday, I caught the episode with Nick when he's basically not setting boundaries with his family. And the whole thing of that video was family that were overstepping somebody's videos. It's some family that were overstepping a masculine's boundaries. So this is definitely going to resonate with some of you for past or present, hopefully not future. Make sure you bring balance back to your physical life as well. Eat more nutritious food, drink plenty of water, and get some regular muscle movement. Your soul has come for a purpose, and part of that purpose is to learn how to love and care for yourself. And times that by a million if you're a twin flame watching this. Choose balance and you choose your soul's priority. I balance my time and my priorities. It's safe and soul honouring for me to care for myself. That's powerful. So, very powerful with the Kali card too. Right. Oh my god, guys, I don't know if I can. Right, I'm just going to do it quickly. This is what I mean. It's kind of, it's I just go with the flow because I was actually going to make the whole. I thought the whole video was going to be about this spread, and I'm just doing it quickly at the end. So that's what I mean about go with the flow. And to be honest with you, I've sat trying to film these for that long. It's not way past my tea time, but it's like 6:20, and I sometimes have my tea at like 4:30. So, I'm gonna wrap up here. So I might just yeah. I might maybe it was unrealistic to do it. Maybe I'll film tomorrow. Or it'll be my hands. I don't know. It might be my hands. I wanted to be on camera, but fuck it. It is what it is. Right, so if you're not familiar with this, it's the medicine wheel, the hidden treasures of the medicine wheel. So I'll just quickly chuck them out. The card in the south represents that which you need to let go of, that which needs to be shed. It is an old wound that you no longer need to divine yourself by. They're all quite samey. So the first card is Wild Woman. Now that's interesting. I was using that term in the last video. Is that one I ended up putting out? I can't remember. That feels very in line with how I've been describing divine feminine energy, actually. Go with the flow, fully embodied. We do look weird to people that aren't in that. Like, we're like an alien. It is like that, though, because you think about it, a lot of women are in this energy of like, well, it's like, it depends what we're talking about here, right? Because distorted isn't a really bad thing. I know it can sound like it, right? But what I'm trying to say is the women females in general are distorted out there, majority of them, unless you are a divine feminine that's been doing all the work that I've been doing. There are some of you out there, like I said. And and obviously those of you that are predominantly the masculine that are women that watch this channel are more balanced too, because you've taken on board what I've said and you went away and done stuff for yourself and shit like that. But yeah, it's a woman that's fully embodied like that. We do look weird because we're not following the crowd like a lot of other women do. Like, you're not following the latest kind of Botox injections and yeah, just following the leader, like doing what everybody else does. And you're not controlling your shell and being as rigid and like, as other women are as well that are more in their masculine. You just go with the flow and you're like, very, very go with the flow. And it's going to look a bit off the wall and a bit weird to people. That's how I'm taking that. The next card that flew out is the card in the west represents a part of you that needs to die. It's an old story that needs to be let go of so that you may find a new meaningful story for your life, which is actually very similar to that one I read for the masculine. Wind, that feels like changing the wind. Yeah, that's the change in the wind that is coming. Wait a minute, I'll put them. I've got a flat surface to work with. Right, the third card represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. You have learned the lessons from the south and the west. What wisdom ready to mature within you? What great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? Whenever I read that, it always reminds me of in Big Magic by Liz Gilbert. There's a quote in it that's like, about the treasures that are waiting to be discovered within you. It's something along those lines. At one point, actually, during my Dark Night of the Soul, I would say that that was my favourite book. I listened to it like more than once. I had it because it was. If you don't know that about me, it was what saved me during my Dark Night of the Soul was bibliotherapy. I think how you say it. Basically, reading books. Ironically, because I talk all the time about not liking reading books, but what I mean is I can listen to books, but I'm not a fan of reading them physically. But if I do read a book physically, I read it in a day kind of thing. It's kind of but I've got loads of I've got loads of books because I've got like a lot of Gemini placements. So it's like I'm, research and blah 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 and I love books. I'm very like I said, I'm very much very connected to the Edgar Casey energy. So it's like I just need to be around stuff to channel the energy of it. But um I know you hear that all the time if you're around here all the time, but it's in case people are new. But yeah, that's important that it was. I listened to loads of amazing books during my Dark Night of the Soul that I spoke about over the years. The Untethered Soul. So here you go. Look, they're making me do it because this is the week about energy clearing. The Untethered Soul is a brilliant book that I could probably do with listening to that again. It's really deep, but I was in a very dark. I was in my Dark Night, so I was in a very dark place, and I got a lot out of it. But yeah, I can't remember it. There's actually, I always used to say that about the heart chakra because there's something in that that's like, say you've got 20 puzzle pieces and 10 of those pieces are for happy, amazing memories, 5 are full of heartbreak, and then another 5 or something else, right? And it was basically this analogy of even the places that are taking up space in your heart that are like good memories, but they're not present anymore. Like it's time to sort of let that go so that it can be filled up with things in the now. Something like that. I usually explain it better. I think I need to listen to the book again, but again, but yeah, there's loads of ones I listen to. But Big Magic's a great book too, especially if you're like bothered about people copy. That was like I said at the time, it was a really big thing, and it's not so much. I still help people with that shit all the time, and like I said, there was even like someone informed me that there was somebody impersonating me over on the old fuck book there. So, but it's kind of like thank you because several people informed me that what just flashed up there. I don't even know what that was. I don't know if that was that'd be funny if it was an emoji or something, but something I think it might be in the back. No, it's plugged in. I don't know what it was. It just doesn't bother me now. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, if you can copy this hot mess, you know what I mean? And I don't mean like aesthetically. If you think I'm looking hot today, then thank you, but I've looked better. But it's my energy. Basically, what I'm saying is like, if you can copy this, then fucking you deserve an award, right? Because I'm unique. So anyway, but you can try, but you're not going to be me because I'm me, and that's what you have to tell yourself about anybody else that tries to copy your unique energy. They will fail. Right. So, what you can inspire people, that's a different thing, but you don't want to actually copy someone because that's a huge insult to the person. It's an insult to yourself because in the new earth, it's all about your own unique soul frequency. And basically, that's why we're starting to see things breaking down of the old world and the new earth coming together. You're starting to see who's been tuned into the frequency of what's true on the twin flame journey and who's been tuned into the frequency of confusion. I'm not going to say a lie, but confusion. Where's this all sort of, and that's why you've got to be careful who you invest a lot of time in. Don't make anybody like a massive fucking guru kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know, something like that. It's because there can be so many twists and turns on the journey. Um, like I said, I just know from my own experience, I know when I listen to people if it's genuine or if it's like genuine mixed in with a wee bit of somebody's a bit lost behind it. And there's not a crime, but it's just maybe I'm just quite strongly about that. You shouldn't really be guiding other people when you don't really know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are and you don't know who your true twin flame is, unless that's your whole thing, I suppose. It really just would depend on, you would need to be honest about that. Right, so but it just depends. You can't say overall because different people got different journeys. But I am more specifically talking about people that are purposely out there to confuse you, because there are ones out there like that. So the card in the north represents the wisdom that. Oh yeah, I've said that already. That mature within you. Oh, I'm taking that one. Oh, I'll take them both. It's the medicine wheels come out. So we're doing the medicine wheels. That always happens. We're doing the medicine wheel spread. So that's what's matured within you. This is, I feel, again, like everything I do, this is going to be more for the masculines because, like I said, it's the majority of the audience. But like I said, I know there will be some feminines watching me, and I know there are some of you out there. I'm just thinking there are a couple. But even with that, like, I'm not. It's what I'm going to say is I'm not entirely convinced, because I do think with some of you that you think you are the feminine, it's it feels like you are going to be the masculine when your feminine's more than a feminine sort of thing. So um anyway, I'm not going into all that because I'm too tired to. So the medicine wheel, yeah, you've went around the houses, you've learned what you need to learn to mature. It's the masculines have learned what they need to learn to mature, and also I just got drawn to that picture again of my niece holding a snake at that party the weekend. There's a big snake on that. So again, I do feel it has another meaning about just be aware of any snakes around you that are a bit close to home. So it was right around her fucking neck. I was like, I asked if my other wee niece was scared. I didn't actually hear back. She's the one that to be scared of. She's got a scorpion eyes on like Annie Claire, didn't best, do you know what I mean? You know what? She want to catch her in a bad mood. But hilarious. Right, so the card in the east represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. The luminous warrior, yeah, wow, powerful. I was so dramatic. Wow, wow. Earth is on the earth reverse. So this is about the masculines. This keeps coming through loads, isn't it? This is the masculines. Like the masculines are a true warrior. Like I've been bigging up the feminine in this video because again, we do deserve it. Again, it's I'm always again the majority of the time I'm always talking to the masculines, and I love you, the men and the women, and especially my own, obviously, and a different kind of love. But it's the masculine, you are a warrior. And again, it's funny because I do, that's like what I mean. If you're new to this channel, I spend most of my time bigging up the masculines because there's so many channels tearing down the masculines, basically. Like really going in. And sometimes, again, I'm sorry, it might seem like I'm doing that too. I'm not, I'm just reading the energy, and it's can get pretty dark. And it's usually the karmic energies that are in the dark, but you know what I mean. But masculines can go into the shadow in that side too. But this is about you're a warrior and you've really went through it and you're coming out the other side, learning all the lessons. So right now I'm going to go through. I'm just going to really whiz through these. So 63. The symbol of the wind represents the element of air. It rules communication, thought, song, and inspired ideas. It also signifies change, with qualities both positive and negative. The wind blows from each of the four directions. The south carrying a new sense of trust, helping you gently begin to discard habits and parts of you that are no longer needed. The west calling you to more introspection, to a willingness to make final decisions, to let go of attachment and ego desires. Wow, this is talking about the transformation that a lot of you have went through or going through. North moving to bring you wisdom and strength, and then the east carrying clarity, vision, and purpose, which is, when you're stepping in, ready to be stepping into purpose, and unions can happen and stuff. Whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message which the wind whispers or shouts is a challenge. It may take courage at first to turn and face the wind, but you will find exaltation in moving towards it and receiving its lessons. Basically, there's a change in the wind because of the position that was as well, because that's which needs to be shed and let go of, and that fits with the Kali card. It's basically it feels like it's been coming through a lot lately, that it's like I don't know where you're at because I don't know who's listening, but there's some of you that are ready to move to the next bit, and the next bit is come out of the cave and come into the light, and some of you communicate with your twin. But don't put yourself where you're not ready for if that's not you, but that's what I'm getting from that. Oh, wait a minute, oh fuck, it doesn't matter, they're all the same. I've actually just read, that was the card. Oh, wait a minute, it'll probably make even more sense. The part that needs to die, the old story it needs to be let go of, so you can find a new meaningful story for your life, like the Kali card. Changing the wind, it makes even more sense. The first card's actually Wild Woman. See, Mercury retrograde mistakes, but it's not a mistake, because it does still make sense. 62 was the first one. And this is the one that is that you need to let go of. They're the same, aren't they? The Wild Woman dances into your reading, reminds you the essence of authenticity and freedom. And I did think again, I have come on to this video very like that, very Aries very kind of like well actually my wee niece I was just talking about, she's like that. I mean, she's only 4, but she's just like, God, if she wants to wear an Elsa princess dress, she's going to wear that, you know. Like, I've got a picture, it's amazing. It was me and my mum and her went out for lunch, and she's running about this big grassy field wearing this Elsa dress in the rain, and it's just that's just her all over. She's just a big ball of amazingness. Both my nieces are. I can't. They're just both amazing, but she's particularly wild in that way. You know what I mean? Kind of giving it 0 Fs actually, which is really quite nice because me and my mum were totally really like when we used to take her to a playgroup. When my sister was at work, when she went back to work and all that, like I used to take her to a playgroup with my mum, and she was so shy because she was. I don't like kids calling kids a lockdown baby, but I mean she was like, and again I don't like talking about it either because that really makes me cry because I didn't see her for, was it 2 months or 4 months? I don't like reflecting on it. It felt like a lifetime. But I only got to spend like 6 weeks with her. Was it six? Leave my eyes are watering. 6 weeks with her. And yeah, being robbed of that time that I'll never get back, you know what I mean? But I always just try to remind myself that some people have actually been robbed of their actual child's life, full stop. Do you know what I mean? And or like a child that you're close with, but it does it. That was the hardest thing for me, was being away from my nieces. Because if you think about it, like people can go people can go traveling in another country for like months or a year or a couple of years and stuff like that. But it's, with the kids it's a bit different, and I found that, so I do, yeah, feel for anyone else. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, she's just. But what I'm basically trying to say is she was really shy in her, like, sort of, and I think the turn must have come about free. And just in the last couple of years, it's like, fucking hell, she's like very like, and what? Do you know what I mean? She's like attitude, but in a good way. It's like really amazing. And that's an Aquarius moon. You know what I mean? She's very different. She's surprising in the way of she's a Pisces, but I don't ever think of her as a Pisces. I do when it's like the magical sort of just, they both just say stuff, and it's like really, like that's what I wrote in the post the other day. My older niece has drawn pictures of me in different scenarios, and she's described to me what they are like when she was only like 4, right? So the age that my other wee niece is at, and she's done ones younger than that. And then when I asked her last year, she didn't remember what it meant. But then when I asked her the other day, she told me word for word what she'd said 2 years ago. So it's like trying to explain that to me. How come she didn't remember? Because you think, oh, but kids don't remember what they say when they're that young. But well, how did she remember this thing? Like, it was kind of quite nuts. And it's quite consistent, like the things that she say. So yeah, I pay attention. I've always had really psychic children that do psychic drawings and that, like at nurseries and that too. I've still got some of them now. Like some of them you can't even, it's faded because they're that old. But yeah, fascinating. I find that fascinating. Yeah, Wild Woman holds up a mirror to your essential self, the true essence of who you are and who you're meant to become, which is why I trigger the fuck out of people just from being in my truth. Annoying, but it's true. You're welcome. She's a reminder of the bright light which each of us that gets dimmed by the restrictions imposed upon us by expectations of society. That's Aquarius moon too. Like, you're not going to dim the light of, it's you're meant to be different and unique. Aquarius energy, and I'm talking about that because my moon in Sag, which is a fire sign, which is about optimism, adventure, You know, in a way, that's wild woman energy. It's about party. Sagittarius likes a party. It conjuncts Uranus, which rules Aquarius. So that's where that energy really comes from me. She reminds us that in order to be fully present to life, we must uncover the light and let it shine brightly, regardless of the perceived consequences. Yeah, and that makes so much sense. That's how. Oh my god! And actually, the next card after Wild Woman is Wind. So there's something about going in order here. I know what they're saying. This is about the masculines, male or female, where you've you've been taking the step, you've been getting guided round the medicine wheel, which I'm just about reading out now, right? And now it's like about to be the quickening, like accelerating energy, it feels like. But yeah, I knew when I started just sitting very chilled, like I'm in that kind of zero fox energy, but in a good way. Right, so 35, because so many people do just care. They care. And again, and this is, you could say that about anybody doing anything, like, in the world or even on YouTube. And I can even break that down to even other people talking about twin flames. Like, it's it's really quite again, unless there's some that will be like again, maybe I just haven't found them, but it's quite good when somebody is just like letting it flow. Because you don't see it too often. The medicine, right, so the card in the north represents the wisdom that you need to acquire, the lessons you've learned from the south and the west, and the great medicine you're ready to embrace. The medicine wheel is a sacred hoop with the four cardinal directions well marked. It represents the cycle of life and nature. It has been used for millennia, blah, 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 blah. It's a direction symbolises 4 steps the shaman takes to become a person of power and wisdom. And again, this is what I feel the masculines, you've been going through the process of the ego death, the dark night of soul, in order to come out the other side. Right, okay, I will read it. So, to manifest clear blue skies in your life, it's important that you take you take a look at certain aspects of your being, enter the medicine wheel from the south and reflect on how you're still clinging to events from the past. Oh my god, repeating message, it always happens when I do the spread. Continue to the west and notice which relationships are toxic and drain your energy. Surely don't need to point that out. Step into the north and ask yourself, do I know my passion and show it? End at the east direction, visualizing how you want to live the next chapter of your life. And this is where a lot of masculines are getting to when they reach up to this, or you could be there now. It is up to you how much time you spend in each direction, minutes, days, or months. And when you're done, make sure you step out the wheel and contemplate your journey. Yeah, and celebrate how far you've come. 42. Like I've said, I'm no kidding when I say if mine actually initiates a conversation, whether it's like he's going to have to find a creative way because I've got a new number, or I don't know what happens actually when you text somebody. I guess he'll find out. Anybody that tries to message me, I'm not even kidding. I'm just going to spontaneously do it. But I mean, it's not like he's bombarding me with messages anyway, is it? But I forgot what I was saying because I was saying that. Wait a minute, yeah. Recognize how you're co-creating your world. Nothing is happening out there without your involvement. Remember that the world is only mirroring back to you the condition of your love and your intent. So change these within before you take any action. Do not take life personally. Yeah, so I feel because the Rainmaker came out of the medicine wheel, that's just because a lot of you will have already went through the medicine wheel. You're ready to take action on your purpose and your vision and ready to talk and be in union with your twin flame. And some of you realistically aren't ready yet because you're going to get what you give out. So if you're still in a really dark, groggy, fuck you place of the dark night of soul, might not get the best of, reactions if you're coming at anyone like that, really. But I've have to stress this over the years. I do believe there are some masculines that are surrounded with literally no support or very little, that they will get guided to their twin flame in quite a dark place, and do the rest of their healing with the support of the twin. So tune into who you are. 32. And that's only I must stress, I'm only speaking to people that you've moved through codependency, you've been away from each other, you've went through that hell, and you can handle, the feminine would have to have very tight, strong boundaries, basically, is what I'm saying, to be able to handle that. So you just know if you can honestly say that, like, some of you may have done that work yourself, and you'll definitely get to that point, but whether you're there now or not, like, you've got to be honest with yourself. The card in the east represents your possible, like, for instance, I'm basically saying there, like, look, I don't, okay, we hopped it, but I'm not going too deep into it. Like, wherever my masculine is at, however ready he is to have just a conversation with me, and whatever shit is going on is like I know that I've got strong enough boundaries to be able to, like, I've just keep saying, like, I basically, that's what I want, but it needs to be, he needs to be on the same page. Like, I want to have a conversation to clear the air, and just to, yeah, basically to clear the air is the best way to put it, because I think there's a lot of people that have muddied the waters, um, basically. And also just, we'll have put our own stuff into it as well, but yeah, to clear the air, I think it would be the best thing to do. Right, so, and that'll be, like, think about what I said, that'll be like for a lot of you. The card in the east represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with the world. And again, the luminous warrior has no enemies in the world or the next. He's impeccable in his word and deed. He focuses on the light rather than what hides in the dark. Since he casts no shadow, he's radiant as the sun and can transform his most terrible enemy into his ally. And that's because that's a masculine or a feminine too that has went through the medicine wheel. You can't, like, once you've went through what you've went through, when you've went through the full experience of the twin flame journey, as in the next, it's not the full experience because you'd be dead, but it's like, but basically before you get into the physical union, where it is the real physical union, and there's no doubt in your mind, you know that this is your true twin flame because you've went through it all, and you just know that this is your other half in another person. What, you know what I mean? It's like all the bad stuff that happens after that, it's never going to be as bad as what you went through. You'll still have shitty stuff that happens, but it's the pain that going through that is, there's not a lot that can. Pain is pain, so you can't really judge it, but you know what I mean? It's painful. And that's why I get so passionate and at times angry that I'm not going to apologise for it. I believe they call it sacred rage when people don't understand, unless you have been in it, which is a lot of people, if not all, tuning in this sort of twin flame, that pain of, because again, I said this more recently, but I'm saying it again, it's like, I am very, or I have been the whole time, and it's more like, it feels like that part of me is like coming out more, where it's like, hang on a minute, this is actually feeling a bit disrespectful now to people like myself and the rest of you that have been on it a similar amount of time or longer. Um, and what I mean is, like, people that are out there talking about how painful it is because you've been apart from your twin for like a year or like 2 years, or like sometimes, like, I get, but sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get entertainment out. Like, I'm only joking. Like, I'm not only. What I mean is, hear me out. Let me defend myself. I get entertainment from it because I'm thinking, like, when I see ones, it's like, oh, I haven't spoke to him in 6 months, and and I'm just like, what? That's nothing. Like, fucking hell. And I'm like praying for that because I'm thinking, fucking hell, if that's really true twin flames, and most of the time, by the way, when I've seen it in some of these other videos where it's like absolute fucking people just bashing something, and sometimes it's quite entertaining to watch it, and I only watch a bit and I come off because it's negative energy. It's the people in these comments that are saying shit like that, and it's like, it's not, because it's like, they lose. You see the same person commenting later, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm leaving him behind, and I'm with somebody else. He's treating me right." Well, you're in a twin flame then. Stop fucking making yourself something you're not. It's a difficult journey. Um, and then, but what I mean is, like, I get, like, there are some people that are genuinely helping from the experience that they've had, and it, it might just be that, some people have moved through some of the experience a bit quicker than others. But what I say is, those people still have to have respect for as well, that if you've been someone that has been on the journey a long time and you've been in long separations, um, don't look at it like those people aren't doing the healing work they need to do, because, oh, we fucking are. This one is, and I'm helping a lot of other people. And also, celebrate when I've got other people getting a union that, haven't been in as big a separation stuff. But again, I always sort of stress to people, you don't know how real that union actually is until, you're in it. I even suspect some of the people that I've helped, close the gap on their inner union, and then they've been with their person. I do suspect some of these people have went off the radar because they then will have went into the real separation, but maybe not. Like, I actually hope sometimes that I've not heard from people because they're happy, but I just don't know. I'll know when these people get in touch. But because they always do, you know, sometimes people, it's like they can, again, it's go off the radar. But his power comes not from the sword, but from speaking his truth at all costs. The luminous warrior reminds you it is important to focus on your power, wisdom, and beauty. Do not be seduced by what seems wrong with you and with the world. Remember that intention follows attention, so focus on your positive traits, feed your light more light until you feel truly empowered, which is what shamanic healing soul retrieval is all about, which is why I'm stressing that all the time. Rather than watching reading after reading after reading. Yeah, I know I do collective readings too, but I say all the time, and anyone that works with me one-to-one, that's not what my sessions are about. I'm not doing that. Do you know what I mean? If you want an unlisted one, I could do that. But like I said, I'm being honest, I never do unlisted videos. I want to. Definitely in the summer, because it's quite good for me. I don't need to be, it's not as much energy. But I get you to focus on your healing. Remember that intention follows attention. So focus on your positive traits, feed your light with more light until you feel truly empowered. And also, intention follows attention. And that was the whole point of this. Set your intention for what you want to gain out of this whole month. Then there will be little need for action as you resolve all situations from within. So specifically, you know, that's going to speak to the feminine too, with what you're walking through. If you're still walking through that, or if you're where I'm at, you've already walked through that, and it's now just about keeping that balance and keeping your boundaries, because you basically you got to be on it. There's always going to be people that are pushing your boundaries, so you got to be on it. Got to keep being on it and don't be complacent. But and even you've got to be on it with your twin flame too. You know what I mean? Like 222, love and balance and partnership. That's about balancing the energies, because it's very there's power imbalances with twin flames. You've carried it from past lives, so it'll be a test. You might have already had that test, but you might be tested again. Even if that's just about rushing ahead, you know what I mean? Like, you know, jumping at the bed and fucking like going at the speed of light. I don't mean like you know, going at the speed of light. It's like through the relationship, like, you know, probably better to build a friendship and have fun, you know what I mean? Like, just have fun getting to know each other, having a conversation, especially if all it was about the actual energy before. Right, so as good as it is, you know, you've got time, right? So I'm going to finish this with a New Earth card, and I don't know why, because I don't associate that with what I'm doing this week, but I'm going to just go, that leg is really itchy. I need to go and eat, and I don't think I'm going to film any more videos today. This was far too long. Right, I don't even feel like I want to watch this back. That would be really wild. Right, grown. Oh my God, why do I keep doing that? It says crown, but I keep thinking it says grown. I done that the last time. Right to know, go beyond attachments, divine alignment. Divine alignment, baby. Things are aligning, or they will align more if you commit to this month. Crown. Yeah, that is to me. It keep looking like it says grown, but it says crown, but it's both, right? You've grown on this twin flame journey, and you're still growing. We're all still growing. Some of us are at different bits, and that's okay. That's like life. That's why you've got teachers. You know what I mean? But your twin flame's your biggest teacher. You'll know that if you're a real one. And it goes either way, not just feminine to masculine. But yeah, the real twin flames are being crowned, you know. So if anybody was chosen as somebody that was the right person who can love your twin flame as much as you, well, quite simply, that's a complete lie, isn't it? There is literally no romantically, because, you know, I would hope that that love is there for him, for other people in his life, but there is no other person romantically that could possibly love that man out there more than me. And I'll stand by that. Not even anywhere close, because it's my own energy. But I respect that he's his own man with his own life out there. But yeah, I'll stand by that. Because of that, look at this. We share the same space. We literally share the same telepathic space. Telepathy, co-creation, communing, honouring. And like I say all the time, I'm going to say it again, that's a lot of, whenever people have had the privilege of reading mine and his energy actually, that they've commented on that very strongly, like, wow, you really are true twin flames. And I'm like, thinking at myself, I wasn't fucking asking whether I was or not. Like, do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are, that's the thing, people going, but I'm just getting it to see what comes through, if it's the same as me. And if this person's even good at what they're doing, you know what I mean? And when I know they're good, when they say, when they're kind of like, wow, you're really connected. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Healing. Look at what I just said. Gentleness of love, realignment, transformations. That's powerful. We've got alignment and also go beyond attachments. You're releasing the attachments. And this is what this is. And guess what? Oh my God, I'm geeking out. This is, they always do this because that's the way that I weave astrology and everything I do. Virgo season is about healing. So that's the thumbnail. Gentleness of love, realignment, transformation. Wait a minute, maybe both of these actually. So I know that was a long one, and well done you if you sat through it. I'm exhausted. So turns out you will see me in a different outfit because I don't know, you never know. After I eat something, I might be able to film day 2, but I'm away to go and drink some water and have something to eat. So yeah, if you'd like that medicine wheel spread for yourself, and I can use, you know, some of the same other decks if you particularly liked those decks, and let me know. But anyway, you know, you can book that for yourself. It's actually always on the schedule, but you can book that below. And other than that, you know, the normal Zooms are available and stuff. But for this week, and actually, yeah, so if you're wanting a live session, again, like I said, you know, just email, or if you do happen to, you know, book it and pay for it, then just know that I'm saying, if you're watching this, I'm not going to be doing live sessions this week. Actually, what am I talking about? It's Friday tomorrow. Yeah, so it's Friday tomorrow anyway. I don't work the weekend. Let me see. I might be back at it by Tuesday. Yeah, I think I might be okay for Tuesday actually. But that's it. I think, you know, because we're into a Cancer moon and then going into, like, yeah, and then I'll probably do a live, like I said, at the end of the month. Yeah, I don't think it's quite funny because I was maybe going to do a live tonight, but that's not going to happen. I'm too tired. You see how long this is, so um, yeah, like I said, I'm going to get something to eat. But anyway, and like I said, the most important thing is, you know, go at your own pace with this, but do set an intention. Don't spend all day about it, like thinking about what to focus on. Just pick something. Pick something that's not something. Just pick something that's been annoying you that you want to sort out, because that's what Virgo season's about, right? And then we'll see what happens by the end of it. But usually there's big shifts. See you later. Oh, wait a minute. Stop.